Wind at 15 to 30 miles an hour, gusting to 40 miles an hour or more for a while tomorrow. The speeds may come down a bit during the afternoon. And the high temperature, lucky to reach 60. The average high is 75. Partly cloudy to clear and chilly Saturday night, lows in the 40s. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds Sunday with highs between 70 and 75. Varying amounts of cloudiness Monday through Wednesday, and there is the chance for some shower activity each day. Highs mostly in the low 70s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Checking the markets so far, the Dow is up 276 points, the Nasdaq's ahead 17, and the S&P is up 11 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Town Fair Tire has the area's largest inventory of name brand tires at discount prices, including Michelin tires, which give you the perfect match. A relaxing driving experience from your vehicle, along with all-season design for ultimate performance that stands out from the crowd. And Town Fair stands out from other dealers with a guaranteed lowest price on Michelin tires and gives you more free services for life than anywhere. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for the content of this ad.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Ethos.
Don't fall into the trap of doom jobbing when you're looking for work. That's when you spend all day using the same resume on hundreds of job applications.
A one-size-fit-all resume doesn't work.
Michelle Reisdorf of the Robert Half Company says tailor your resume to a job you actually want and then be sure to follow up.
Old school, picking up the phone, calling, following up on your resume submission.
I'm Rob Hart.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
Are you a commercial building owner in southern New England? Are you frustrated with your roof services? Contact Eagle Rivet Roof Service today. Our skilled technicians provide tailored roof repair and maintenance programs to maximize your building's lifespan. With 24/7 emergency response and comprehensive service options, we are Greater New England's trusted commercial roofing provider. Visit EagleRivet.com for a complimentary inspection or call 860-953-1231. Protect your investment with Eagle Rivet.
Chuck McDowell here with Red Pocket Mobile. How long have you been stuck with the same phone plan? 2 years? 5? 10? Are you tired of surprise fees and confusing bills that never match what you thought you were paying? Cut the nonsense.
Right now at RedPocket.com, new and existing customers adding a line can get our premium 5G plan for just $5 a month. That's only $60 a year.
And here's the kicker. Red Pocket Mobile gives you access to all 3 5G networks. You pick the one that works best where you live or work, or switch anytime for better coverage. And with Red Pocket, you keep your phone and your number. Why in the world would you not switch? Red Pocket Mobile, your new ultimate cell carrier.
Celebrate Memorial Day with big savings from Red Pocket Mobile. Right now, new and existing customers can get our premium 5G plan for just $5 a month. Just $60 a year and choose from all 3 major 5G networks with one locked-in low price at RedPocket.com. That's RedPocket.com. RedPocket.com.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio, right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah! Scallywags! And you nutmeggers! Conversationalists, men and women and children alike. And don't forget, you haters, it's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. What is going on here? I've got music playing out in the background. I have no idea what the heck that is. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, I was about to say, what is going on? I said, I'm hearing something in my ear. I've got the website up, and it is some god-awful news station. My apologies for that. I got to tell you, folks, and I'm going to be talking about it the whole show. I'm a competitive person. I am by nature, but not in the way you think. I don't care that somebody runs the 440 or all that. I don't care if you run faster than me. I don't really care. I had my fast days. I'm an older man now. I'm not fast. I'm not racing the young kids up the block to see if I still got it. No, absolutely not. I will play those young whippersnappers in a game of basketball. And I have the hand-eye coordination of Stevie Wonder. Truth be told. But I will still outwork them. That's just who I am. I'll be there heavy breathing, tired, bones aching, but I will put all of my effort into it. Especially if I know that I can psych them out. Psychological warfare always works. I'm competitive that way, but I know I'm not fast. But I know if I get you toe-to-toe, close proximity, football's a little different. Like tag football, I'm not going to outrun the guy on a long pass. I'll bump him a little bit, get him off his route, keep him from getting that ball or getting to his position. That I'll do. I know where my limitations are. But I'm still competitive nonetheless. I'll still give it a go. But when I know I'm beaten, I'll bow out gracefully. Say, all right, that's all right. You got me. Got me this time. Let's try something else. So, when the morning show, and I'm not going to say who it was, Joey, sent me a text message and was going, oh, well, you look at what we did this morning for Canine for Connecticut Vets. I went, oh, it's like that, y'all. It's like that. And they were like, yeah, it's like that. And they know this. They know that they draw me in. They know. They know exactly where to get me. Joey does. He and Roseanne, they're thick as thieves, the two of them. And she will tell him, because they're so cool, they're so close, nudge him with this. This will get him. Watch him react. And he did it. He sent me that text today. And he said, oh, look what we did for Canines for Connecticut Vets. I went, okay. So let me start off by saying, so there's no hate. I applaud you, gentlemen. I applaud. Apparently, the people who listen to your program have deep pockets. Are you trying to call my people bums? Because I will not stand for that. So, folks, we got to step up. Okay? We got to step up. I want to crush these people. Kindly. I cannot be outdone by the morning show. I can't. I'm sorry. I cannot. I refuse to be outdone by them. So I'm going to need your help. Please. Let's show these folks exactly how we get down on the Reese on the Radio program. They made it this way. I didn't set the terms. They did. And plus, they taunted me. I'll read it to you. I'll read it to you later on in the show what Joey sent me. He wasn't so much as going after you. He was going after me. He said to me, I don't think you can motivate them. I was like, oh, it's like that. Some mean stuff. Folks, please, they're a great organization. You know, we do this every year. Canines for Connecticut Vets is trying to reach $25,000 for the new service dog. His name is Tucker, for a very deserving Connecticut vet who's going to have their life changed in ways that are unimaginable. We've talked to so many of them. We'll talk to another gentleman, the same gentleman we spoke to earlier, but he'll be back again to talking about his experience, and that is Justin Prosser. He was on about a week or so ago. We're going to bring him back at about 4 o'clock, 4:30 actually. We'll talk to him again about this program and a whole bunch of other stuff, but help them out. I'm going to be promoting it all day because I will not be outdone by Brian and company, okay? Think about it. They got a whole company. Okay, it's Brian and the whole company. I'm a one-man show. And if I beat them, imagine what it says about Brian and his company. I can say to him, I did it all by myself. You had a whole crew. Anyway, Brian and I, we're really, really not that competitive. But on this we are. And I blame Joey on this one. So, Brian, don't take any offense. Joey brought this up. He was the one who did it to you. So, I'm here to outdo you. You understand? I'm here to outdo you and the whole company.
If you want to have a ball,
yeah,
give me a call. I'm Sweet Tea. It's like that, y'all.
That's right. It's like that, y'all.
That, y'all. That, y'all. It's like that, y'all.
It's like that, y'all. So go to WTIC.com/vets. That's WTIC.com/vets. So you can make a contribution there. Look, I'll put it this way. You want to know how we can beat them right now? Try this on for size. If 700 people, and there are thousands of you out there, I'm daring to say hundreds of thousands who are out there. If every one of you just donated $10 right now, we beat the pants off the Brian and Company show. You understand that? Him and his whole company. Just $10. 700 of you give $10. It's over. It's over. They go home. They cry. They try again tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. Give it up to Brian and Company. That was it's still good. Especially all the folks who listen to the morning show who contributed. Without a doubt. And we applaud them. But now they made it personal. We'll talk about this some more during the show. Also, we have some information that I need to share with you folks in the 3 o'clock hour. So those of you who check out the show in certain intervals, especially now at 2 o'clock, you may have to go at 3 o'clock. Come back and check out the show. Go to WTIC.com, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com and check out the program. You're not going to want to miss what happened, or at least what I learned today about the program. And you will be satisfied. I promise you that you will be satisfied at the news that I am going to reveal to you in the 3 o'clock hour. Why will you be satisfied? It's because I promised you something, and I'm delivering. And it can only be understood in the monologue that I do at 3 o'clock, so please make sure you're here for that. And I've already talked to, I talked to Mark in West Hartford about it today. Adam 12 is all over it. He wants me to go to the ends of the earth on this one, but I'm gonna keep it civil at this point. But it's something you do want to know. And it's a testament to what this show is doing, what it's done, and what it will continue to do at 3 o'clock. So stand by for that. Also on the program today, Chris Shea, who's running against Jonathan DeBarros for the GOP candidacy to run against Johanna Hayes in the 5th District. He's going to join us at 5 o'clock today, and we'll talk to him. Jonathan DeBarros we had on the day before yesterday, and we'll have Chris Shea on this day, giving them equal time. If Johanna Hayes ever wants to come over here and talk on a show, like I doubt she would, but whatever. The invitation is there. They say equal time. I will give equal time. Joanna, I would love to have you here. I have so many pressing questions for you, especially a Grace Baptist Church comes to mind. Really, really, I'd love to ask you about that. But, not that I expect you to be here. Yeah, we'll get to that. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else that I missed that's coming up on the show. Anyway, we'll get to it. Now, a story that has gone everywhere. I'm finding it astonishing that it's getting traction. It's old news. This story is meaningless today. Ask any Democrat, they'll tell you. Why are we still talking about this? I agree. I don't know why. I don't know why we're talking about this. And then I started listening closely. Because at first when I saw it, I just went, Ha! I know. But then I started listening to the reaction to the story. And I went, oh, now I know why it's important. If you're wondering what that was, let me tell you. A couple of days ago, former First Lady Jill Biden went to CBS and did an interview because she has a book out. I think it was called, Why Couldn't I Stay in the White House? Something like that. I don't know what it's called. Or how I took an old feeble man and forced him to stay in the White House so that I could keep getting treated like a queen. Something like that. I don't remember. So on CBS, this excerpt caused a lot of attention or gained a lot of attention.
You horrified as you saw it unfold? I wasn't horrified. I was frightened because I had never, ever seen Joe like that before or since. Never.
Or since?
Yes, or
You've
since.
never seen him like
Never.
that?
No. What
happened?
I don't know what happened. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke. And it scared me to death.
Now, folks are up here saying, what a horrible wife. Even Donald Trump, he put on Truth Social post. He said, she thought he was having a stroke. Why wouldn't she run out there to go grab her husband? Honey, are you all right? Are you okay? Paramedics. During the debate? Are you folks really asking that ridiculous question? The country, the soul of the country, is on the brink. And you think, with all of the constantly saying that Joe Biden's tip-top, running circles around us, I have to prepare double time to keep up with the old man. He's doing handstands while balancing plates, while juggling knives and dealing with world affairs, they told us. And you think during the debate when he was a mumbling, bumbling fool, you think that Jill Biden, if she was so concerned, she would have ran out and said, no, people, stop CNN. Stop it. Joe, are you okay? For that to play out in national media? Hell, the world? You really think that she would have run out there and done that? He could have been attacked by wild piranha, and his family wouldn't have jumped out there to save him. They would have left him there. Because anything outside of that, he was going to lose, which was already happening that night. They all knew it, and they were deer in headlights. And they were going to watch him crash and burn. Because if they ran out there, everything about their party was sunk. Everything. So, why did I say this was dismissive nonsense when I heard the story? It was because of the obvious. Why now? Joe Biden's not the de facto leader of the Democrat Party. He can barely go out and stump speech for folks. The guy is an albatross around the necks. Why would they even care? The Democrats have completely washed Joe Biden aside. Why are so many people upset about this? Let's start with what I saw today and then work our way backwards. And then you'll understand what I mean by why this story is so important to the media. Here's Jake Tapper.
Now she tells us. That's the response from lots of Democrats to former First Lady Jill Biden finally admitting that her husband's debate performance in June 2024 was so bad that, in her words, she at the time was frightened that President Biden was having a stroke.
I don't want this to be lost on you, folks. Jake Tapper's opening line is the most important of all of this. This is him reporting on what Democrats are saying.
Now she tells us.
Now she tells us. Who is he saying? Who's saying that quote?
That's the response from lots of Democrats to former First Lady Jill Biden finally admitting that her husband's debate performance in June 2024 was so bad that, in her words, she at the time was frightened that President Biden was having a stroke on stage.
So Democrats are saying now, she tells us? Like it was Jill Biden who was hiding Joe Biden from the rest of us? Or even from them? Is that necessarily true? Now she tells us?
On his game, top of his game.
He's at the top of his game. The top of his game. Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president.
Is on the ball. The man knows more than most of us have forgotten.
Was on his game. I walk into the Oval Office or see him on Air Force One. I have to be on top of my game.
Do you believe President Biden is the future of the Democratic Party? The strongest person to represent Democrats in 2024?
Absolutely.
Biden is extraordinarily strong.
Is the strongest, most accomplished president we've had in my lifetime.
Boldest and strongest American presidents we have had.
Focused and disciplined leader.
Focused. His recall was good.
Focused. He's detail-oriented.
Fitness, his vigor is beyond question.
As vigorous a from your private
or
phone.
Boss as I have ever
figured.
Had. Fully vigorous and great mental and physical health.
Effective and capable president.
Fully capable of doing the job.
Capable and ready to serve another term.
Capable.
Do you see what I'm seeing, folks? Do you not see it yet? Again, just so we're clear, Jake Tapper was the one who said, he started off.
Now she tells us.
All of these Democrats are saying that they were in the dark. That it was Jill Biden that was doing everything. I find that rich. We have much more to get into, but I'll tell you exactly what's being done. And it shows you exactly who the Democrat Party is. Not that you didn't already know. Stand by. More of this when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
Hi, Don Cussin here. With summer travel upon us, before you hit the road, have your car or motorhome checked out by Cussin Automotive. When was the last time your vehicle had a thorough inspection and not just an oil change? Your tires, what condition and how old are they? Your cooling system, what condition are your belts and hoses in? Are your brakes ready for a road trip? What about your engine? Is it running at peak performance? Based on the price of gas, be sure you optimize your fuel mileage. So before you head out, do it right with Cussin Automotive.
Cussin Automotive. Do it right. Cussin. Do it right.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth, Money Wisdom. This week we're talking about the retirement tax shock. What's that? Doesn't sound good? Guess what? Paying too much in taxes isn't. Tune in this Saturday at 8:30 on TIC News Talk 1080 and see if there's anything you can do about it.
Everyone needs to have at least one person in their corner in life. When you don't, it's an extremely lonely and frightening place to be. But knowing you have that one person gives you peace and hope. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Since 1988, myself and my firm have been in so many corners for so many clients for so many years. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason, and it's not even close. We fought like hell for you. We fight the bullies, automobile insurance companies, the makers of unsafe products, medical providers who injured or killed their own patients. It has been such an honor and made my life complete. If you ever need us, it's easy. On your mobile device or computer, visit forthepeople.com, and then we get to work 24/7. Whether you're hurt in a car crash, injured on the job, or have questions about your Social Security, we're here for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog and your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Northeast Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds. Have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older, be stronger in the gym. be sharper at work, be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
And now, a WTIC news update.
2:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. Karen Bufkin, the general counsel for the state colleges and university system, has been placed on leave. That from the Connecticut Board of Regents today. It's pending the outcome of a third-party independent review, all tied to former interim Chancellor John Maduco for sexual harassment allegations. Earlier this week, former state controller and lawyer to Governor Lamont Natalie Braswell was tapped as interim chancellor. She'll start next month. A federal judge is temporarily blocking President Trump's administration from paying any claims through that new $1.8 billion settlement fund for allies who believe they've been wronged by a weaponized government. State Department of Transportation going over everything drivers need to know. It's next Monday, they'll be rolling out highway work zone speed cameras with warnings going out beginning in June. Also on the transportation front, drivers will notice some changes along the Gold Star Bridge on Interstate 95 in New London. They're going to be moving some northbound travel over to the southbound side while offering only 2 lanes on the primary northbound bridge for 4 years of repairs that are set to begin soon. Police have filed new arrest warrants. The former Avon daycare worker, Giancarlos Barrios Otero, he's been accused of multiple counts of sexual assault against children at the now closed Bright Path Avon facility. WTIC News Time 2:31. Bob Cox has the forecast.
Going to become mostly cloudy out there during the afternoon. Temperatures reaching highs of 70 to 75 today. A northwest wind of 10 to 15 miles an hour, with a few gusts higher than that to 20 plus. And there is the chance for a shower in a few towns by the end of the day. Tonight we'll have varying amounts of cloudiness. There'll be a few batches of showers around from time to time. It's going to turn breezy, especially after midnight. Lows 45 to 52. Saturday will be windy with considerable cloudiness. There still may be a shower around. We'll have a north wind at 15 to 30 miles an hour, gusting to 40 miles an hour or more for a while tomorrow. The speeds may come down a bit during the afternoon. And the high temperature, lucky to reach 60. The average high is 75. Partly cloudy to clear and chilly Saturday night, lows in the 40s. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds Sunday with highs between 70 and 75. Varying amounts of cloudiness Monday through Wednesday, and there is the chance for some shower activity each day. Highs mostly in the low 70s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Checking traffic in Hartford on 91 northbound between exits 29A and 32. Left lane is closed due to a crash involving a tractor trailer. Markets continue to trend in positive territory this afternoon. The Dow's up 329 points, the Nasdaq's ahead 71, and the S&P is up 20. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
You've put in the work to get that first job, moved up the ranks, or started a family. Now it's time to take your success to the next level. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we're here to help you keep that momentum going with educational programs built around real-world, in-demand career skills. We'll teach you how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science, plus timeless skills like leadership, communication, critical thinking, and more. Affordable, accredited, and online. A UMGC education fits your life so you can keep growing while you keep going. You've succeeded before. Now succeed again. At UMGC, we believe nothing should stand in the way of your next achievement. Not doubt, not your life stage, and especially not an application fee. Just apply by June 1st, and we'll waive your application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shea.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code MONEY to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code MONEY to borrow up to $10,000. Use code MONEY to borrow up to $10,000.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
This Travelers Championship Charity Spotlight is brought to you by Thomaston Savings Bank.
Discover the heart behind the Travelers Championship, a PGA Tour event with a mission to make a difference. The Travelers Championship supports hundreds of nonprofit organizations, including Connecticut Food Share. Hunger can affect anyone, our neighbors, our coworkers, and our friends. But Connecticut Food Share is working every day to change that. As the state's regional food bank, they bridge the gap between abundance and need. They partner with the food industry to rescue surplus food, mobilize thousands of dedicated volunteers, and power a network of over 400 local food pantries and mobile sites from one end of Connecticut to the other. They aren't just providing meals today, they are advocating for person-centered policies to address the root causes of hunger for tomorrow. Their vision is a thriving community entirely free of hunger. To learn more, visit ctfoodshare.org. Keep listening to WTIC News Talk 1080 for more inspiring Travelers Championship charity spotlights, sponsored by Thomaston Savings Bank.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
All right, we are back. Reese on the radio here, WTIC. Good to see some scallywags in the place. TCH says that I hope you ask Chris about doing a debate with Jonathan, and I want to talk about the situation at the convention. Both of those questions will be asked, just so you know. And he'll be here roughly at about maybe 10 to 5. He'll be on the program. We'll get to both of those questions. Back to my opening monologue. So what's the whole purpose of making this big deal about Jill Biden, former First Lady Jill Biden? Why the big hubbub? Two things are happening here, but only one they're talking about. The one they're talking about is, why is she doing this now? What's the purpose of this? The second thing that they're not talking about is, it's reminding, Democrats for that matter, it's reminding everybody about how they lied to you. All of the lies they told you. There's a third, by the way. And that's how the media is responding. The media is acting like, we ain't did nothing. This is Jill Biden. See, it was her. She was the one that hit. He was the president of the United States for 4 years, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone here ever think that Joe Biden spent more time with Jill than he did with the folks who were handling him? Who do you think he spent more time with? Because it says a lot about what was going on in that White House. If the person who is shielding everyone from the decline of Joe Biden is Jill, if she's the one who was hiding him out, if she was the one giving everybody the marching orders you're talking about, again, these are cabinet members. Ron Klain, what's her name? Corinne Jean-Pierre, right? White House counsel, Pete Buttigieg, Jake Sullivan. It's funny, I remember all these names. These folks were running around telling you he's tip-top, doing somersaults. Yesterday, I saw him battle a bear. He was the greatest president known to man.
On his game, top of his game.
He's at the top of his game. The top of his game. Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president.
Is on the ball. The man knows more than most of us have forgotten.
Who was making them say this? Because, again, this is all on tape. If it's Jill Biden's fault, then it was Jill Biden who made all of these people lie. And now they're trying to run cover. Now they're trying to suggest the rest of you. It was never us. It was Jill. She shielded us from him. If she wasn't in the way, we'd have seen the decline and we'd have told you.
On his game. I walk into the Oval Office or see him on Air Force One. I have to be on top of my game.
You're lying. Because Jill, if we're to believe you, kept you from him. He was at home. He was eating Jell-O. Yeah, watching old episodes of Matlock. He was never president. And you were lying on behalf of Jill. Now Jill comes out and all of a sudden, it was never you?
Do you believe President Biden is the future of the Democratic Party? The strongest person to represent Democrats in
Chris Murphy, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chris Murphy being asked by Kristen Welker on Meet the Press.
2024.
Absolutely.
Biden is extraordinarily strong.
Is the strongest, most accomplished president we've had in my lifetime.
Now, don't get me wrong. That's Chris Coons. God, he needs to change his name. Chris Coons. Allegedly Joe Biden's best friend. Doesn't know the guy's watching Matlock slipping on Jell-O. Because he's probably doing the bidding of Joe Biden.
Boldest and strongest American presidents we have had.
Focused and disciplined leader.
Focused. His recall was good.
Focused. He's detail oriented. Fitness, his vigor is beyond question.
Ron Klain. Beyond question, they told us. All of a sudden, all it took was this poor old lady to derail it all. She told everybody, I thought he was having a stroke. I hadn't seen it before, and I haven't seen it after. You mean to tell me that after that meltdown, he never had another meltdown? Even I saw that.
You horrified as you saw it unfold? I wasn't horrified, I was frightened. Because I had never, ever seen Joe like that before or since. Never. Or since. Yes.
Even the reporter doesn't believe it. It's like, or since. Really? You serious? I don't live with the guy, and I know you've seen that.
Or you've never seen him like never. That. No. What happened? I don't know what happened. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke. And it scared me to death.
Now, the worst part about the lie that Joe Biden's saying here, she says, I don't know what happened. You haven't even asked? You haven't even looked it up? There was no diagnosis? None. We didn't take him to the hospital? The man went to the hospital and they found out that he had cancer after he left office, didn't we? Remember that? They didn't do any other tests? He went in there for a cancer screening and nobody thought, hey, doc, on the down low, can we maybe check the brain? Check some cognition here, you know? No, don't tell him. Just say that it's a part of the prostate exam or something. I don't know. Nobody! We're supposed to believe that. But I want to go back to Jake Tapper because he's the one who leads this charge. Remember, he wrote the book, Original Sin, where in essence he was saying, I didn't know nothing. And now he's reporting on it like this.
Now she tells us. That's the response from lots of Democrats to former First Lady Jill Biden. finally admitting that her husband's debate performance in June 2024 was so bad that, in her words, she at the time was frightened that President Biden was having a stroke.
But I want to make sure that everybody remembers. The cabinet has an excuse. Ron Klain, Jean Pierre, J.B. Pritzker, Cory Booker, Christoph Murphy, they all have an excuse. He is the leader of the Democrat Party, and if that guy is out of his mind, so are they. And they know it. They know it. That's the reason why they're so upset about this coming out now, because it shines a light. Remember who these folks are come November, and she's shining a light. By the way, I'll talk about Jill's defense in a second, because I'm not really defending her, but I'm kind of defending her. And I'm defending her from some scallies. I mean, some real scallies. Not scallywags, scallies. Because these guys are reprehensible. So the cabinet is one thing. But we can't forget the media. And folks, I'm not talking about the average joke here. Like Morning Joke and Joe Scarborough. No. I'm not talking about Abby Phillips. No. The news media. The news media. The alleged mainstream objective news media defended Joe Biden. In particular, after the Her report, which had the pull quote, feeble old man. Remember that? Watch the response from mainstream news reporters and some of the talking heads.
Special counsel Her's report came out, and it called President Biden a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely disagree with that.
Legal minds have said about this report is that it kind of goes, of course, outside of the scope of norms. His reporting and who he talked to went outside of what would be normal, even for a special counsel. Do you think that should be investigated or looked into? Because the judicial system, the judiciary, is kind of in not a positive view necessarily by the American public at this point.
Again, these are people who you would expect to be defending the president. That's Jen Psaki. She used to be the press secretary for Joe Biden. She knows how detrimental it is for this Her report to come out and say that about an old man who has poor memory. He's in the middle of a presidency. But again, like I said, it wasn't just the usual suspects.
And I think that the American people can see clearly that the president doesn't need a reminder as to when his son died. He says right there, May 30th.
I have reviewed the full transcript myself, all 250 pages of it, and there are moments where the president does have memory lapses, especially, for instance, in his recall and description of his son Beau's death. The president struggles to remember the year that Beau died.
Many of the details that Biden couldn't recall, such as how boxes were packed up, how they were transported, those are things that would likely be tricky for anyone to remember decades later.
That's a CBS anchor making excuses for Joe Biden. Not their job, but they did it. That's not her job. Her job is not to editorialize what Robert Hur had in his report, to talk about what people do. No, just report. She's over here saying, well, that's typical. Some people don't remember. That's running cover for the president. That's not her job. Again, Jen Psaki, yes. Simone Sanders over there at MSBET, absolutely. But not the anchor.
It is notable, though, that Hur wrote that Biden could not remember when his son Beau died. That's just not true.
He said it's just not true. She said that. It's just not true. Folks, what did we find out? He didn't remember. He didn't. It was true he didn't remember when his son Beau died. He did a press conference holding the rosary, to which he pointed out during that press conference where he got the rosary from. The church that held the funeral, that had the funeral service for Beau. Does anybody remember what happened? In the middle of that press conference, as he was starting to talk about where they held the funeral services, Joe Biden forgot. the name of the church right in front of us, live on television, proving that Robert Hur was right. He couldn't remember details. Joe Biden even went out there and said, and I quote, before that faux pas, he said, how dare he even bring up Beau Biden's death? And when we read the transcript, Hur hadn't mentioned it at all. It was Joe Biden who brought it up.
Said President Biden portrayed himself as an elderly man with a poor memory.
Special prosecutor could have written the same report without using these words. Elderly man with a poor memory. What is the word elderly doing there?
He's someone who often has gone down verbal cul-de-sacs and meandered into another story. That's part of who he is. That's his brand for the past 50 years.
So when Jake Tapper does this song and dance for you, you know?
Now she tells us.
You have to look at it and just go, aren't they kind of throwing this woman under the bus? When we come back, I'll explain why Joe Biden's even writing this book. Some of you have forgotten there's something very important about having written this book in the first place. We'll explain when we get back. It's Reese on the Radio.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-910-2233. That's 800-910-2233. 800-910-2233.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Maddie O writes, she wrote the book because she doesn't care about him. He's just a meal ticket. And that's how he treated everyone else. So, part right here, Matteo, which goes right to this part of the show. Because I know a lot of people are saying, why would she write a book about this? Because they have to. to have told. It's an 81 million vote boondoggle. Right? Most votes ever. That was the legacy at the beginning, at the forefront of Joe Biden's presidency. Got more votes than the exalted one himself, Barack Hussein Obama. And it was a colossal failure. I mean, literally, they sent a corpse to the White House. And 81 million, allegedly, did it. It's the biggest duping ever. And he can't fundraise. He's out of power. He's feeble. It was always about Joe Biden. Everything that he got was handed to him because of his status and stature. And that is no more. You can't be caught giving this guy money. For what? He has no influence. Okay? This guy couldn't get you pole position at shuffleboard. Okay? He is of no use, so everybody else has got to pimp themselves out. Just is. Joe Biden's book, what is it going to be about, huh? China patterns? Everything Joe Biden can tell you is about somebody else's story because her story is lame-o. It's boring. She's trying to make it appear like she was just this wayward woman who was sitting around watching everything implode around her or explode around her. Oh, it was so difficult for me. My husband on that stage, falling apart before the world's eyes. I was so scared. That's all it was about. And people see that. They know that she's doing this for her own, legacy. She wants to be seen as some sort of victim, as a first lady. They all want to be Jackie O. Come on, let's be honest. They all want to be Jackie O. But they can't. It just can't. It's not for everybody. And she's just flailing about. This is going to be the biggest part they talk about her book at all. And she'll play it off like, I didn't know. I still don't know. I haven't asked. I'm afraid what he might say, what we might learn. What would it do if I lost my poor Joe? And the Democrats are going, all right, shrew. That's it. Now they have somebody to blame. That's what all of this is about. They have somebody to blame. They'll never take responsibility. That's what the midterms are all about. We got duped. The Bidens duped us. Those scoundrels. We didn't know. You can't blame us, the Bidens, that Hunter, that Jill, that Joe. Political machines they are. They don't want you to remember that they were the ones who helped them out. They did all of the helping.
Special counsel Herr's report came out, and it called President Biden a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
On his game, top of his game.
He's at the top of his game. The top of his game. Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president.
Is on the ball. The man knows more than most of us have forgotten.
Was on his game. I walk into the Oval Office or see him on Air Force One. I have to be on top of my game.
Do you believe President Biden is the future of the Democratic Party? The strongest person to represent Democrats in 2024?
Absolutely.
Biden is extraordinarily strong.
Is the strongest, most accomplished president we've had in my lifetime.
Boldest and strongest American presidents we have had.
Okay.
Oh, Jill's going to get the worst of it. Oh, they're going to turn that woman into Marie Antoinette and every other horrible Evita, whoever you could name. They're just going to throw him at her. Oh, goodness gracious. My poor woman. Let Let's get to the top of the hour newsroom. When we get back, 3 o'clock. What did Reese on the radio do? Here's John Silva.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
It's 3 o'clock, Hartford temperature 73 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Clouds moving in, but just a slight chance of a shower late. All the forecast details coming up. Karen Bufkin, the General Counsel for the State Colleges and University System, has been placed on administrative leave. That from the Connecticut Board of Regents today. It's pending the outcome of a third-party independent review tied to former interim chancellor John Maduco for sexual harassment allegations. Governor Lamont says he expects the review to yield answers to some troubling questions.
And how did the board and how did the central office respond? That's what we've done to every single one of these issues as they come up over the last 7 years. No difference here.
Earlier this week, former state controller and lawyer to Lamont, Natalie Braswell, was tapped as interim chancellor. In a statement this afternoon, Senate GOP leader Stephen Harding blasted what he called scandal after scandal within the system. Worksite safety, the focus, as speed cameras will be rolled out next week by the State Department of Transportation. Officials say of 8 million vehicles they tracked in work zones, 1.3 million were traveling 10 or more miles over the posted speed limit. So starting Monday, that will earn a warning. Then, beginning June 6th, there will be a $75 fine for a second offense. Don Schubert represents contractors. He recently saw drivers slow down for a bear, but says too many don't slow down at work sites.
There's a bear, and what do the cars do? Everybody slows down. Everybody moves over a little bit because nobody wants to be the one to hit the bear. And I'm thinking that's the exact behavior which would be great in a work zone.
First 3 cameras will go up at construction sites in West Haven, East Lyme, and Colchester, with 4 mobile units posted at highway maintenance sites. Signs will alert drivers to the presence of those cameras. Former Attorney General Pam Bondi appeared behind closed doors before the House Oversight Committee about her handling of the Epstein files. That includes how the DOJ oversaw what would be released under her purview. Survivors have blasted Bondi for not holding more accomplices accountable. Among them, Danielle Bensky, speaking today on Capitol Hill.
So far, the DOJ has done everything they possibly can to intimidate survivors. And so we hope that today is actually a day where maybe she's had some reckoning and maybe there is some transparency.
She says Bondi's prior testimony in all this did nothing to assuage her. For her part, Bondi told lawmakers she wouldn't discuss President Trump during the proceedings. The President held a White House Situation Room gathering with advisors as he looks to make a final determination on moving forward with a deal to extend the Iran ceasefire. The President confirming the high-level talks taking place today. That deal would extend the ceasefire by 60 days and reopen the Strait of Hormuz as new talks are held on Iran's nuclear program. A few hundred Connecticut high schoolers are getting ready for work at Electric Boat. Company's annual signing day in New London welcomes more than 300 high schoolers to work at the nation's next generation of submarines, as EB looks to add 8,000 new employees. They have plenty of openings in trades, from welding to metal fitting. WTIC News Time is 3:04 from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network. Looks like that earlier crash we had on 91 involving a tractor trailer has been cleared. We should be wrapping up the road work soon, what there is of it. On 84 eastbound between exits 43 and 51, we're seeing delays. Looks like folks getting an early jump on the weekend. We also have some delays to report on 91 South. Backups between exits 34 out of Windsor into 32 in Hartford. Here's Bob Cox with the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
It's going to become mostly cloudy out there during the afternoon. Temperatures reaching highs of 70 to 75 today. A northwest wind of 10 to 15 miles an hour, with a few gusts higher than that to 20 plus. And there is the chance for a shower in a few towns by the end of the day. Tonight we'll have varying amounts of cloudiness. There'll be a few batches of showers around from time to time. It's going to turn breezy, especially after midnight. Lows 45 to 52. Saturday will be windy with considerable cloudiness. There still may be a shower around. We'll have a north wind at 15 to 30 miles an hour, gusting to 40 miles an hour or more for a while tomorrow. The speeds may come down a bit during the afternoon. And the high temperature, lucky to reach 60. The average high is 75. Partly cloudy to clear and chilly Saturday night, lows in the 40s. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds Sunday with highs between 70 and 75. Varying amounts of cloudiness Monday through Wednesday, and there is the chance for some shower activity each day, highs mostly in the low 70s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, looks like the clouds have overtaken the sun. Temperature 73 right now in Hartford. Dow's up 316 points this afternoon. The Nasdaq's ahead 27 and the S&P is up 12 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. Being a family-owned business for over 90 years, Modern Plumbing Supply has been serving our customers proudly in a way only a family-owned business does. We're always there for you with premier quality products, great service, great prices, and with a knowledgeable sales staff second to none. A name you can rely on, Modern Plumbing Supply, a family-owned business on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin, open 6 days a week.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mary Claire Haver, a board-certified OBGYN and menopause specialist. My new podcast, Unpaused, is the place for bold, unfiltered conversations about what it really takes for women to thrive in the second half of life. Every week, I sit down with medical experts, cultural icons, and powerhouse women to talk about what really matters. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Listen to and follow Unpaused with me, Dr. Mary Claire Haver, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text RULE to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text RULE to 215215. That's RULE to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're back. Welcome to the program. Welcome to your Friday afternoon. I know that you guys are excited about the weekend. The weather is warmer. Hopefully it doesn't rain this weekend like it did the last one. I don't like when the week goes fast. This one appeared a little fast. It slowed down a little bit in the middle of the week, but now it's getting, and it was because we had a short week. And I hate those. I know you like your Monday holidays. That's all fine and good. I'm just expressing myself here. I'm not a fan. As I promised during this break, I would express something to you folks. There are a lot of things that a radio show can do if they really apply themselves. And there are a lot of great radio shows, even on this station, and others. I think that, the reason why there are legends in this game who are currently in this game is because of what they do on this microphone. And everybody does it different. Everybody's got a certain style. Some people just follow what the style is. This is how it's done kind of approach towards radio. I've never been that guy. Not that I'm saying I'm different, better. Well, I'm different, but not that I'm saying I'm better. I just have a different approach. As a fan, I want radio to sound a certain way to me. I feel like it has to appeal to me because I started as a listener of radio, a fan of radio, and I want to bring a little bit of the things that brought me to radio out to you. So if I can be so bold to reveal something, I'm sort of stealing from guys who have done it and kind of reinventing it. I'll explain it this way. So somebody will tell a joke, and instead of just taking the joke and make it mine, I take the joke and turn it into my own. So the joke has a funny punchline, the story is great. How can I make that joke better and absolutely distinguishable away from the actual joke? How do I make it so, in other words, it's almost the same joke, but when you hear it, you're like, oh, that's right. Is that where you got the idea from? Absolutely. So I can make it better. My stories, of course, are all my own because I have a lived experience and I like sharing that with you, and I share those anecdotes with you when they are when they're warranted. And it's nice to hear from veterans who say, Reese, you do it the way it's supposed to be done. Thank you very much. I really rely on their opinions because they are the people who've done it forever. And I would always consider myself, even though it's been off and on for 25 years, I really believe that getting the accolades from people who have done this for 40, 50, some 60 years means a world of good to me. Anyway, I'm off the beaten path. So when I got here in Connecticut, after listening to all of you, you all kept saying the same things to me. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. They won't do this. They don't do that. No one is challenging this person. No one's challenging that. And so I kept asking myself, what kind of radio show am I going to be? I know that if I have to come to work every day and just complain about stuff, I was going to be bored. I would hate my job. So I said, I got to make this interesting for me. I have to make this job something I can't wait to run to the mic and be like running home telling mom or running home and telling my friends or my siblings. Do you know what I did today? Oh, man, I was here. And then I did this and I did that. And then I recorded this. And I found myself more and more excited about it. So as soon as I got here, Mark Walsh, Mark in West Hartford, got me a boat. We went out to Sheldon Cove. I loved it. I loved being out there. I loved doing that investigative journalism. We're out there watching them put alcohol K into the water. We caught them dropping the box inside. I felt like, whoa, this is the stuff they're talking about. This is Edward R. Murrow type stuff. I'm in the thick of it. And then I come on the radio and I tell you about it and I show you the video. Video gets 100,000 views. Just watching a guy put alcohol K into the water and watch the box fall off the boat. 100,000 views. You guys there were people out of state. The guys who do my theme music, the Panics in San Antonio. Daniel was listening to this show from San Antonio and was saying, I don't live in Connecticut, but I got to get to the bottom of this Dequat thing. It was huge. And that's when I said, all right, we're on to something. We are on to something. Let's keep doing that. I'm engaged. You're engaged. Let's get some answers. Together, you guys will reward me by listening to the show because I'm telling you, guess what? That press conference that you heard's happening, I'm going to be there. Such and such said this. Well, they're going to be here. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to ask them. And I did. And sometimes I get surprises, and I did. I got a surprise. I was going because I thought Richard Blumenthal was going to be there, and I wanted to talk to him. And he was at that press conference, and I found out Ned Lamont was going to be there. I'm like, Ned's going to be here? Get out of here. And then I look over to the left, and I'm like, holy crap. Attorney General William Tong is here. I'm like, I came for Richard Blumenthal. I got threefold. It was so much stuff. I was overwhelmed. I could have gotten to interview Richard Blumenthal. We had spoken before. He would probably recognize me. It'd probably be cordial. But William Tong is right there. And I said, I've been trying to get at this guy for the longest. I never get to his press conferences because they're always later in the day, and I got to be here preparing for the show. What a windfall. I got to go up and ask him. So I did. Walked up to him and said, hey, William Tong, I've been dying to get in a room with you. Hey, do you have anything to say about J. Allen Jones? You guys are keeping the video from being released. It was supposed to be out last Thanksgiving. So instead of saying, hey, we're still in litigation, we're fighting the release of that video so I can maybe give him a follow-up question, what's so damaging about this that you don't want to get out there? What is so crucial about the security cameras that you're concerned with? What security? I would get him. He wanted to make it about the kid who had been stopped at some high school, whatever it is, some illegal immigrant, that's all the rage. But I followed up and I said, yeah, well, what about it? And instead of answering the question, he made it about me. And so he said, well, Reese, after hearing what you said on your show about me and the African American community, and I find it deeply offensive. So I'm going to say good luck to you. Now, trust me, folks, when he said it, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. Not because he was talking to me and he was some celebrity that I saw on television almost every day filing lawsuit after lawsuit. No. Why did the hair on the back of my neck stand up? I said to myself, the Attorney General of the state of Connecticut listens to your show. What? What? And he told me that out loud. And my response to that was, how old are you? In my head. And I make it clear, because I know you're listening, AG, that was the dumbest thing you could have ever told me out loud. While I'm recording, you just said, I listened to your show and I heard what you said about me. You never tell anybody that. I'm the guy you're supposed to ignore. Why? Because ignoring me removes any credibility that I have. So when someone says to you, did you hear what Reese on the radio said about you? You go, what? Who's that? Never heard of the guy. When I walk up to you and I say, hey, I'm Reese on the radio, you don't respond to me by saying, I've listened to your show and I don't like what you said. You say, I don't have a comment, and keep it moving. You made it a point to let me know. You made it a point to let me know that you listened to the program and you didn't like what I said about you. But folks, I wish that was the end of it. It isn't. So let me put it this way. And I think it's irrelevant that I put it this way. I think it's important that I put it this way. Not relevant, important. I told every one of you that it was going to come to the point where there was going to be backlash on this program about what we do here. And when I say we, I mean me. I don't want to get anybody else in trouble. What I do here. I told you that people were going to take notice and they were going to act. And wouldn't you know it, William Tong's office had the audacity to contact this very station about me. The audacity to contact this station about me. I don't know what they were hoping to get from that. But if they think that they were going to put me on some sort of leash, if they think that they were calling my mom because the big bad bully over at WTIC is making the Attorney General upset, oh, baby, it's on now. Oh, baby, it is all the way on like popcorn, as they say. It was bad enough that you told me that you listened to the show. Now you're calling mom? Really, dude? And the nature of such a phone call, the nature of which. Now, I'm not even going to get into that part, but I'm going to tell a story about a particular newsroom here in Connecticut. I spoke to the individual, and I know I told you this story before. But a public official who didn't like questions being asked to them had the audacity to take her team, yeah, that's right, her team, to a newsroom, made the news director grab the reporter in the newsroom and made the reporter apologize to the public official for being aggressive. Made their employee apologize to the public official. That's how they get down here in Connecticut. It happened way before my time here, ladies and gentlemen. That journalist is no longer out here. That public official is no longer here. But that's how they do things here. They call mom and dad. Hey, put a leash on him. I don't want to see him at press conferences. Don't have him ask me questions. And apparently, people tell you to capitulate around here. When I say around here, I mean the state. I said this yesterday. I'm going to keep saying it every day that I can. There is no stopping this. Now, folks, pay very, very close attention. Regardless of what happens, I report to you. You are my constituents. Now that you know that that's the way they play ball around here, then you're not supposed to question authority. Then you're not supposed to come to them and ask them questions respectfully about things that they are uncomfortable with. That they will go so far as to try to either intimidate or quell any amount of scrutiny that they face. Even make up stories to do such a thing. And boy, I got their number on that one. That they would ever have the audacity to do that. That they do that here. That's why I'm trying to explain to you what we do here is so important. What is being done in this state today is so important. They don't want the tough questions. They don't want to answer to you. They believe that they are untouchable. The rest of these folks, and I don't know who they are. I know nothing about them. I don't want to know them. There are some people who I met. Mike Cirilli, I met him. I can't remember Mike, the guy who always in the bow tie over at, what station is he? I think he's at TNH too. That's the other Mike. But I know Mike Cirilli. But I'm going to say when I know them, I mean, we're friendly. We speak now and again when we're out on the field. I know more guys over at TNH than I do over at FSB. But I don't know exactly how they get down with when it comes to these elected officials. Well, I know how one person gets down over at FSB when it comes to the governor, but that's neither here nor there. I know that this thing is about access. I know this thing is about being in the room. I know this is about being cuddly with all of these folks, not holding because you want to be in the parties. You want to be able to get access. Will you hold an interview with me? Will you come down to the studio? Can I get an exclusive? Because that, to them, that's prestige. To them, that's, I spoke to the governor. I've got it on my resume. I don't want any of you folks on my resume. I don't want any of you on my resume. I want you answering questions. Do you understand that? That's all I want from you. I want you answering questions for the people. I don't want to be your friends. I don't care about being your friends. Your job is to serve. You guys have got it out of your minds that you are somebody other than that. The fact that you would even go so far as to play with me like this means that I cannot stop. You are egging me on. You are begging me to do more. I'm coming to the press conferences. I will remain respectful, but I will be there. I will continue to question your integrity. I will continue to question what you do in office. And if you malign individuals, if you treat them like they are dirt, if you can take a woman who was sexually assaulted and remove her from the state close to her grandmother and move her all the way down to Delaware. Why? Because you're trying to shut her up or intimidate her. And we find that to be reprehensible. And we think your office is responsible. You can call God, for crying out loud. I'm still going to be there. You hold up the videotape of a man that a coroner said was murdered. And when somebody comes in and asking you about it, why won't you release the tape so you can give that family some semblance of justice? His son, a sense of justice. His son's mother, a sense of justice. His own mother, a sense of justice. And you think that that is pushing too far? How dare I? I'll be there even more. I don't even know that family. I don't know them like that. They don't owe me anything, and I owe them nothing. But I owe it to the people of this state to get to the bottom of that story because it is horrendous what happened to that man. And if I think that race plays a role in it, I have every right to question it. If you don't believe that, if you don't think that's his, if you think that's an unfair assertion made by this host, address that too. But you will not shut me down. At all. You can try. But you won't. We'll take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the radio.
Tune in to How to Retire with Fuchs Financial.
The main thing for the majority of the listeners out there who are approaching retirement is I don't want to be surprised.
Helping you build, preserve, and manage your wealth.
So you've got Roth IRAs, you have individual accounts. Finding the right taxable strategy, that's going to be huge for you.
Tune in to How to Retire with Ben Fuchs. Sundays at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. right here on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I've had the privilege of seeing miracles, broken families rebuilt, every crash, every workplace injury, every medical mistake. Fighting back can work. We've gone toe-to-toe with insurance giants, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion recovered. Size matters. Reputation matters. Results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Odyssey Hartford celebrates Mental Health Awareness Month. This year's theme, More Good Days Together, invites us to reflect, what does a good day look like for us?
Brian Shackman here from WTIC News Talk 1080. There are many things that make a great day. A really good sip of coffee, some fresh air, maybe a smile from a stranger, and a nice walk with my two dogs.
Take a moment today to consider what a good day means for you. Tune in for mental health tips, resources, and more all throughout May. Odyssey Hartford, celebrating Mental Health Awareness Month.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds too. Get a quote right now at 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
73 degrees under cloudy skies in Hartford. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. The State Board of Regents for Higher Education has placed CSCU General Counsel Karen Bufkin on administrative leave. Both bodies come under scrutiny for how sexual harassment allegations against former interim Chancellor John Maduka were handled. It is unclear whether a new draft or a potential deal between the U.S. and Iran will get a final approval. President Trump spending the day in the Situation Room at the White House making a decision on its approval, but Iranian state media says the administration's characterization of the draft proposal is not accurate.
Iran, according to state media, is rejecting the idea that they are going to let traffic move freely through the Strait of Hormuz without the tolls that they had previously mentioned that they would impose. Those are the things that they were working on Oman with, by the way. And they're also, making no mention of the nuclear program in that there's no agreement, but rather they're calling it a commitment for a commitment. So in other words, saying we're not going to talk about this issue right now.
Correspondent Christian Cordero at the White House. Man is dead following an industrial accident in New Haven. Investigators say the victim was pulled into a conveyor belt while working to offload fertilizer. The fire chief says he worked for Anastasio Trucking. Federal judge has temporarily blocked President Trump's plans to the administration from paying any claims through that $1.8 billion settlement of the president's allies who believe they've been wronged by the government. DOT, they are going through, went through the expected rollout next week of highway work zone cameras. They will be located in 4 towns thus far, and warnings will go out beginning next week. On another traffic front, the Gold Star Bridge spanning 95 in New London going to see some changes beginning this weekend. That will include moving some of the northbound travel over to the southbound side and offering only 2 lanes on the primary northbound bridge, beginning of 4 years of repairs out there. WTIC News Time is 3:32. Bob Cox has our forecast.
Increasing cloudiness out there this afternoon. A few times could even see a shower before the end of the day. Highs 70 to 75 degrees. Northwest wind at 10 to 15 with some higher gusts. We'll have varying amounts of cloudiness tonight with a few showers around. It will become breezy, especially after midnight. Lows 45 to 52. A windy day Saturday. Considerable cloudiness, the chance for a shower. North winds at 15 to 30 miles an hour, gusting to 40 plus. And the high temperature only struggling up to about 60. Partly cloudy to clear and chilly Saturday night, lows in the 40s. A mix of sun and clouds Sunday, high 70 to 75. And partly cloudy Monday with a couple showers, highs in the low 70s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080. ProHealth Physicians has proudly been keeping Connecticut healthy for nearly 25 years. ProHealth accepts Husky Medicaid, Medicare, TRICARE, and most major insurances. For trusted local care for your whole family, call 1-855-CT-MD-411 or visit ProHealthMD.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth, Money Wisdom. This week we're talking about the retirement tax shock. What's that? Doesn't sound good? Guess what? Paying too much in taxes isn't. Tune in this Saturday at 8:30 on TIC News Talk 1080 and see if there's anything you can do about it.
Have bad teeth that need to be replaced? Don't like removable dentures? Worry no more. Come on down to Columbia Implant Center in Manchester any day of the week and ask for the all-on-4 procedure. Call us at 860-643-1898.
At a huge law firm, does your case feel lost? And at a small firm, they might not have the muscle to truly fight for you. At BPS Lawyers, we're small enough to give your case the personal attention it deserves, yet large enough with the resources and expertise to get the job done right every time. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Glastonbury, Hartford, Essex, East Hampton, New Hartford, and Simsbury. Visit bpslawyers.com or call 860-CALL-BPS. Nick Payne-Dearest is responsible for the content of this ad.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Red Pocket Mobile.
Apple is using new AI capabilities to improve accessibility on its devices, with new features including magnifier and voiceover, which describe on-screen information or a user's surroundings for people who are blind or have low vision, while voice control allows users with a range of physical disabilities to use the iPhone and iPad entirely by voice. The new features using Apple Intelligence will debut later this year. I'm Jason Brooks.
Chuck McDowell here with Red Pocket Mobile. Ever sign up for one of those too good to be true phone deals? 1 minute you're feeling great, then suddenly you're paying over $1,000 a year. Crazy, right? You know who else thinks that's crazy? Red Pocket Mobile.
Right now at Red Pocket, new and existing customers adding a line can get our premium 5G plan for just $5 a month. That's only $60 a year. And choose from all 3 major 5G networks with one locked-in low price at redpocket.com. Redpocket.com.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Northeast Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combination therapies that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and to the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. That's northeastmenshealth.com. Northeast Men's Health, advanced medical science to empower male performance.
You've put in the work to get that first job, moved up the ranks, or started a family. Now it's time to take your success to the next level. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we're here to help you keep that momentum going with educational programs built around real-world, in-demand career skills. We'll teach you how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science, plus timeless skills like leadership, communication, critical thinking, and more. Affordable, accredited, and online. A UMGC education fits your life so you can keep growing while you keep going. You've succeeded before. Now succeed again. At UMGC, we believe nothing should stand in the way of your next achievement. Not doubt, not your life stage, and especially not an application fee. Just apply by June 1st and we'll waive your application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Hey, he's your friendly neighborhood Reese on the radio. Right now on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Did you hear this story about Governor Kathy Hochul? I don't know, like everybody online is immediately going to say, Lamont's going to do it. Not if November happens, folks. Not if November happens. So relax. Nothing's happening yet. But for those of you who are concerned with it, here's what it is. She had a press conference. This was some of the video that was trending online.
This is another area where I'm surprised at the controversy around it when it makes so much sense. You think about someone, I'm going to ask these gentlemen here, if someone gets 16 speeding tickets in a year, would you consider that an excess speeder? And yeah, that's not normal, right, guys? I mean, they're just looking for an accident. They're looking to end up in this repair shop. So what we said, we have to protect people. There's pedestrians, there's moms pushing strollers, there's people on bikes, there's kids going to school. We have to protect people. And if someone is so flagrantly violating the laws that there's a callous disregard of human life, is the only way I can describe it, there have to be consequences. Have to be. So now we have technology that says there's a device that can be installed in a vehicle that would limit how fast you can go. And I think that's what happens. There's plenty of notification. You can appeal if you want to question one of the tickets in the prod. There's due process. We'll make sure. But installing this, and if you don't install it, after 45 days, you lose your registration. You should not be on the roads if you don't care about whether or not you're going to kill somebody. And when you hug a mom, lots of moms, as I've had to do over the last few months, who've lost children, that pain never goes away. But they at least have some comfort in their hearts that maybe they can prevent the next family from having to grieve the way they did because of someone's reckless indifference to life.
Now, what she's talking about, according to the report, let me turn it down a little bit. She signed legislation this week as part of a state budget that forces drivers with 16 or more speed camera violations in a single year to install an intelligent speed limiter device. The gadget wires into your vehicle's onboard computer system and uses GPS to read the posted speed limit and physically prevents the car from going faster than that speed limit. And of course, as you heard her say, you missed the 45-day deadline to get it installed and your registration gets revoked, you're off the road. Now, many people drive without a registration, okay? Regardless of that, it's just, they drive without a registration. Anyway, the bill, which is called the Stop Super Speeders Act, targets about 14,000 to 18,000 vehicles in New York City alone. Many of them luxury cars racking up tickets in school zones, red light camera areas. And Hochul calls these drivers callous. They have a callous disregard for life and says that the device is the only way to stop them from killing people. On paper, 16 tickets in 12 months is outrageous. So in essence, I don't know if there are plenty of people who have speed camera violations at that rate. I know there's some people who speed in these work zones without beyond a shadow of a doubt. I know there are some of these people who speed on the road all the time. When the speed cameras come to Connecticut, I'm sure that those numbers will be available within the first 6 months, much less a year. I don't think they're going to wait that long. They'll start reporting on that immediately. They said, here's where it gets interesting and concerning. The device stays in the car for at least a year. Repeat offenders face 2 years, 3 years, or even permanent installation. Tampering with it brings big fines around $1,000 to $1,500. And there's help for low-income folks. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. So if you're living property for safety, what stops them from lowering the threshold later? Or using the same system for mileage taxes, tracking, or restricted travel for other reasons. We've seen this pattern before. Start with the worst offenders, then you can expand. Meanwhile, New York still struggles with subway slashings, bail reform, revolving doors, and lenient treatment for actual violent crime. But for speeding tickets, full government intervention into your car. Which, again, what has ever stopped the liberals from finding a way to get directly into your personal life when you drive? What's to stop them? I don't know anybody, unless there is a large number of people. I didn't look into this, but I saw it right before the beginning of the show. And I said, I just had to ask that. I was like, what is going on? Like, what is going on that you have to put, that you would actually put something like this in the vehicle that would track to your GPS, or we track by GPS, and you're driving. And this is the part that I almost find dangerous. And I was just thinking about this yesterday as we were driving to Walcott. What if the posted speed limit is 25 miles per hour? Right? And this device will not let you travel faster than that. but there is an emergency that you have to speed up for. I don't know if you've ever seen, Roland, have you seen that movie Final Destination? Which one is the one with the, have you ever seen those movies? Yeah, which one is the Final Destination where the woman is traveling and the log truck is driving and the logs start falling off? That was like the first and the second one, right? Yeah, I think that was the second one. Yeah, what if you get into a situation like that where acceleration would save your life? Not slowing down. What if you have to speed up in order to survive? You would be screwed in that situation. You couldn't speed up. And by the way, what if would they do that to a Tesla vehicle? Could they do it to a Tesla vehicle? This is the reason why I have to get a Tesla. I found a way to actually incorporate Tesla into the conversation, didn't I? I haven't talked about it in a while. Slow down. If you use GPS on your iPhone, it alerts you of a speed camera ahead. No, it doesn't. I've never seen that, Craig. I've never seen that. It does? It will tell me if there's a police officer there, but maybe I haven't seen a speed camera. I mean, that's the problem. It tells you, the GPS will tell you there's a speed camera? I've never seen that. Never. I'm not kidding. I've never seen a speed camera show up on.
It's not just iPhone.
I have an Android.
Yeah, me too.
But he says, he says on his iPhone.
The Waze app does it.
Oh, well, what about regular Google then?
I'm sure regular
Maps.
Google Maps does it too.
I've totally never seen that. I've seen when police has been up there, objects in the road.
Objects in the road.
Yeah,
police,
that kind of stuff, yeah.
Camera at the light ahead is a camera.
Really? I've never seen that.
It lets you know, light ahead, there's a camera at the light ahead.
I never saw it. That's so wild. You know the part that bothers me? This is true. What are you supposed to do? This happened to me yesterday in Walcott. So I'm driving, and it's all hills, and, it's like everything is up on the mountain. And so we're driving, and there's a car behind me. And I'm always kind of pressured when there's a car behind me to do a little bit more than the speed limit. So on one particular road, the speed limit says about 30 miles per hour.
Wow.
And again, this is going uphill.
Yeah.
I recognize that it's 30 miles per hour, but I'm noticing that because the car's up behind me, I'm doing, if I'm at best, maybe 40. But it's a small little, quaint little part of town, but I'm doing 40 and I notice it. And then on the road, I'm noticing that other cars are passing me.
Yeah.
When it says 30 miles per hour. So I'm keep saying to myself, like, am I going too slow? I'm 10 miles over the speed limit. Like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, I almost feel like I should be traveling with the movement of traffic.
The flow of traffic.
The flow of traffic. Thank you. There's the term. I feel like I should be moving with the flow of traffic. In my head, I'm going, but wait a minute. I'm doing what? I'm always worried that there will be a cop.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be doing 40. The guy in front of me will be doing 45. The guy on the right, left side of me is doing, 46 or whatever. And he'll pull me over because I'm doing 10 miles per hour over. I don't even know what to do in that situation. Now, Roseanne, who's kind of a bully on the road, you're doing the speed limit. Don't try. Stop speeding up for him. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going with the flow of traffic. I feel like I have to.
I always just drive with the flow of traffic. Yeah, I always just drive with the flow of traffic. Because they're not when you're driving with the flow of traffic, first of all, you're staying a safe distance.
Right.
You're not you're not weaving in the outer lanes.
Right. People do that a lot here.
Yeah. So you're not doing anything that should cause you to get in an accident, even though you may be driving over the speed limit. Technically, you're giving yourself a safe amount of space to stop.
Right.
You're doing all the right things except for the speeding part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't like the speed. I hate doing that.
And a lot of police they're not pulling people over when they see it's a flow of traffic.
Right.
They see everybody going to the same speed, flow of traffic. They're looking for the guys that's weaving in and out.
The guys are going
speeding
nuts.
Past the flow of traffic.
Yeah.
Or doing crazy stuff. So.
Dan says, my new 2026 2500 HD tells me when there's cops ahead on the GPS screen. Yeah, all the newer cars kind of come with a basic, like a Google Maps kind of GPS system, and ours has the same thing. But again, I've never seen a speed camera show up on my thing. My car tells me when I'm approaching the speed cameras going into Middletown, Carmela says.
Yeah.
I've never seen this.
Yeah, it happens.
Huh. And I know, Ben, thank you. I thought I said Woolkit. Did I not say it right?
You did say that.
I did say Woolkit, right?
Yeah.
But thank you I know you guys are particular in New England about your pronunciations about towns. I'm trying. Even Roseanne, who isn't even from here, gave me crap about Coventry.
Yeah.
She said, it's Coventry. I'm like, you're not even from here.
Well, some of the people I met from there call it Coventry, so.
Yes, that's the only reason why I called it that.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, it's Coventry. I'm like, ugh, New England again. Listen, you know, it's the part that I will say this before we take a break. Speaking of this.
Coventry. I used to say Coventry all the time.
Really?
With no issues.
No issues, right? Let me throw this at you because this I've never understood. So when I got here in 2004, I remember saying on the air that we were by that Sigourney Street. And people called up and screamed, Sigourney. And I said, okay, forgive me. I saw Sigourney. It looks like it's spelled Sigourney. And I said, I only got it because of Sigourney Weaver, and I know she spells her name like that. Yep. Well, look who was born in Hartford. Sigourney Weaver. I'm like, so I was right the entire time. No one's ever called her Sigourney.
No.
Not one person. She's from here, and you guys call her Sigourney, and you get on my case because I called the street Sigourney. I'm like, what? I can't win with these people at all. It's actually pretty funny.
It should be Coventry.
Right.
If you want to be.
That's right. If you want to be alliterative, It is Coventry. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. It's Reese on the Radio.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
I'm fixing to tell you something that the insurance industry does not want you to ever hear. Bullies often delay and deny. I see them sitting on premiums paid and making money and dragging it out for as long as they can. Many times, we're forced to take them to court. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Their high-paid lobbyists are on a mission to make sure that at trial, jurors are not allowed to learn that the at-fault party has insurance, and in some cases, lots of it. I can think of no case in all my years where there was no insurance for the at-fault party. So let's fight back. It's all these bullies understand. Tell everybody you know the truth. If you've been injured in a car crash or hurt at a store or business, visit forthepeople.com. We're here 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvutra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvutra for ATTRCM.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Also, make sure, folks, go to WTIC.com/vets. WTIC.com/vets. The folks in the morning show today, okay, it was Joey, sent me a text bragging about how well they're doing on the morning show for this charity we do every year. This year, the service animal or service pet is Tucker, and he is going to be paired with a deserving Connecticut vet coming soon. The training is happening as we speak. Then they'll choose a veteran, and they'll go through the process. We're going to talk to somebody who's gone through that process today, Justin Prosser, who is the 2024 recipient, I believe, if I remember our last conversation. He'll be on the show. Again, we'll talk to him. Because he and many others at the Forever in My Heart Foundation are asking you to please give so that we can get this done, so that we can continue to help out these veterans who are dealing with PTSD and other ailments. And these service dogs make their lives absolutely changed forever in such a good way. And the good work that all of these folks do in getting this done, the only way it can be done is through your charitable giving. So if you could, please ask your friends, ask anyone, even as little as $10 or as much as $10, considering your bracket, just give. Go to WTIC.com/vets, WTIC.com/vets, so that you can give and so that I can get some bragging rights. So these people are not making me look like a washed up bum, because that's the way they're looking at me. All right. They're literally rubbing my face in it this morning. It's like, oh, did you know what Brian did today? And I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to say anything. I was simply just like, all right, fine. It's okay. All right, they have a company over there. It's Brian and Company. For me, it's just Reese on the radio, just one guy. All right? And if I take them out, imagine the bragging rights we have. Just one guy taking out a company. Huh? Let's just show them up. Okay? So go to WTIC.com/vets, Canine for Connecticut Vets. Again, we'll talk to Justin, who's going to join us at about 4:40 this afternoon. We'll talk to him again about his dog. Astor is his name. It's weird that I always forget his dog's name, but I should know that. Astor. He used to live near Astor Place in New York. We'll talk to him. Also, Chris Shea is joining the program. He's running to be the GOP candidate in the 5th District to get a chance to go head-to-head with Johanna Hayes, but first he has got to face Jonathan DeBarros in the primary in August. So he'll be here, our guest, at 5 o'clock. We'll talk to him. When we get back, I want to talk about these dirty, disgusting, and god-awful details at CSCU. And I'm looking at the timeline on this, folks, and there's a lot to be said here, but we'll get into all that in a second. Let's get our first check of traffic and weather. Our good friend Mark Christopher is here. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. How we doing out there? I understand you guys made big money today. Huh?
Yeah.
You guys made big money.
Yes, we did.
I'm going to make you pay for that. I'm going to make you pay for that
okay.
today. Yeah. That's it. You're not going to outdo me. You're not going to out fundraise me. I told everybody, y'all are a company. It's Brian and Company. It's like 5 of you. It's like 9 of you. I'm a one-man show. That's okay. I've got to show all you the company up.
Well, you know what? That's good because you're showing us up.
That's
the
right.
morning guys up. That means we're doing good things to get that dog for a needy veteran.
Indeed.
And I sent my donation in earlier today, so I encourage everyone to send theirs in too. It's a great cause.
You got it.
If you're heading into Hartford right now, 84 eastbound, you got delays 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. Westbound 84 is a little slow, approaching the Bulky Bridge out to about exit 45 Flatbush Avenue. Southbound 91 delays 34 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. Delays again 19 down to 17. Northbound 91's a little slow between 20 and 21 as you move Middletown into Cromwell. 9 north and southbound slowing approaching the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound Waterbury is tight by 18. Again, some slow traffic. 26 down to the 691 interchange. And westbound 84 is slowing from the 691 interchange up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. If you're heading toward New Haven, southbound Parkway delays 50 down to the West Rock Tunnel, and northbound on the Parkway slowing approaching 46 into the tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Following a passing shower or two late this afternoon, a couple of showers overnight with a cold front coming through, and then those showers will continue through early tomorrow. Now, otherwise it'll be rather breezy with a low temperature of 48. Not much recovery in the temperature tomorrow. 57 will be the high. After those showers, it'll be windy and cooler with a mix of sun and clouds. Partly cloudy tomorrow night down to 44, partly sunny 74 on Sunday, and a mix of sun and clouds with a shower possible Monday up to 68. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
4 o'clock, Hartford temperature 74 degrees. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. The State Board of Regents for Higher Education has placed CSCU General Counsel Karen Bufkin on administrative leave. Both bodies are under scrutiny for how sexual harassment allegations against former interim Chancellor John Maduco were handled. He resigned last month after allegations of sexual harassment dating back 2 years. That was followed by the resignation last week of Board of Regents Chair Marty Guay. Governor Lamont says those who've been subjected to harassment need to know their allegations will be taken seriously.
But I want you to be able to come forward. I want you to be able to come forward, know that you can do that safely with security. Make sure that we have a process in place that gives you that confidence. That's what this investigation is all about.
In a statement, Republican State Senate leader Steve Harding said, quote, "A full house cleaning is long overdue. CSCU students, alumni, staff, and their families all deserve so much better. That starts with accountability and transparency," end quote. Hartford police have made arrests in child exploitation cases. A detective with the department's child exploitation unit posed online as an underage female. Then they showed up at undisclosed locations for the purpose of sexual relations, the suspects did. Police say all were taken into custody without incident. They've been identified as 34-year-old Lennox Williams of Holyoke, Massachusetts, 56-year-old Billa Hassan of Wolcott, and 85-year-old Abdul Sheikh of Rocky Hill. All are facing charges of attempted sexual assault, attempted sexual abuse of a minor, and risk of injury to a minor. Still unclear whether a new draft of a potential deal between the U.S. and Iran will get final approval. President Trump's been spending today in the Situation Room making a decision on its approval. The president says the proposal should demand a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and the halts to Iran's nuclear program. But Iranian state media says leadership there wants to oversee the strait indefinitely. ABC News correspondent or contributor and former Defense Department official for the Mideast, Mick Mulroy, says Iran has said it has a right to enrich uranium.
If they want a civilian nuclear program, they can get lower enriched uranium from outside the country that they can use. So them wanting to keep enrichment is going to tell a lot in the U.S. national security establishment. They want the capacity to build a nuclear weapon.
Former Attorney General Pam Bondi was grilled behind closed doors by the House Oversight Committee over her release of the Epstein files and the DOJ. On her watch, what it decided would and would not make public. Survivors say more accomplices need to be held accountable.
This was her sort of mess to begin with. People like Bondi and now the FBI director, they were people who, before Trump was even elected, said this is why we need Trump in the White House to release all these files. And then when she said that Epstein's client list was sitting on her desk, everybody got excited. And then it turned out that there was no client list, and documents that were put out at first under her watch were duplicative.
It's correspondent Aaron Katursky. A 23-year-old man is dead after a conveyor belt accident in New Haven. This happened at Anastasio Trucking on Middletown Ave. Victim was working on the device when they were pulled in and killed instantly. OSHA is leading that investigation. Wall Street, the Dow up 363 points, the NASDAQ up 55 points, and the S&P up 16. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Northeast Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combination therapies that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and to the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. That's northeastmenshealth.com. Northeast Men's Health, advanced medical science to empower male performance.
Reese is on the radio. Here we go now. He's on the radio. One time, he's on the radio. Give it to him now. He's on the radio. We never finish 'cause the party don't stop. The way we consider politics, we on top. We flip it like sandals, except we never flop. And when we drop, you know we gon' pop. Reese is on the radio. Here we go now. Reese is on the radio. One time, come on. Reese is on the radio. Give it to him now. Reese is on the radio.
All right. Second half of Reese on the Radio on this Friday continues in a moment. I was seeing something written here by Russ. Russ, thank you for the statement. It's more of a statement than it would be a question. But he says, why would anyone get 16 speeding tickets before their privileges are revoked? that's in and of itself, 16 is a lot. A lot. If I remember correctly, it had to be the year I got my car, my Alta. It had to have been the year I got it. I think I got 2 tickets, and I know 2 of them were speeding, but I was doing like 51 in a 45. That was like 51 in a 35, something like that. I didn't know what the speed was in that, and I thought I was following the flow of traffic, and I didn't. The guy pulled out, and then I got another ticket. I think like another week later, again doing the same thing in this different area. Didn't know what the speed limit was, and I remember getting a message that said that I had gotten too many tickets. There was only 2, and they were like, "Be careful." So yeah, 16 is a lot. That's a lot of tickets to get in 1 year. But he also says Big Brother monitoring is wrong and unnecessary. The number of people I looked up for you, Russ, just because of your question, and I think it's also a part of the story, they are saying about 14,600 vehicles are or associated drivers who meet this threshold in New York. But the other side of that, which is the number you should look at, is how many drivers are in New York overall. 4.6 million. It seems a bit much to do. You know, it's not a huge problem. It's less than 1%. Speaking of driving, let's get back to the traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. How many tickets you ever get in a year, Mark? Ever?
Ooh.
Like speeding or anything like that, or even parking.
Man, maybe 1, but
yeah,
I
right?
don't remember the last time I had a ticket.
Exactly.
It's been a long time.
You're at an age now where breaking the law is just an unnecessary. It's cumbersome.
I'll tell you what. I got pulled over in Manchester on my way to the airport back when we used to have the plane up for traffic. and I was right near Manchester Honda, and I ran the light there. I was running a little late, and the cop pulled me over, and, he took my stuff. And he said, "You know why I'm pulling you over?" And I said, "Yeah, I ran the red light." And he said, "Well, I appreciate your honesty. Have a nice day. I'm just going to give you a warning." So I got off just because I wasn't being a jerk to the guy.
Really?
Yeah, it was a state cop. But yeah, I was, and I just said, "Yeah, I ran the red light. I know I did," and and he let me go. So that was the last time I think I got pulled over. So I lucked out there.
Never tell Mark Christopher your dirty secrets. He may fold under questioning.
Exactly. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese, this traffic report being brought to you by Whittlesey. And 91 southbound, you've got delays 34 down to 32 A and B. Again, down bikes to 28. And another bump 19 to 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91 sluggish, 20 Country Club Road in Middletown up to exit 22 on the Route 9 interchange. Then you move well into Hartford. If you are traveling on the westbound side of 84, you've got slow traffic approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 46 Sisson Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragodi Bridge in Middletown. 84 eastbound in Waterbury slowing by 18. Again, slowing 26 down to the 691 interchange in Cheshire. Westbound 84 is tied up 26 in Cheshire to the Mixmaster. Northbound Parkway slowing approaching 46 into the West Rock Tunnel. And southbound on the Parkway delays 51 down to 50 in Hamden. Whittlesey wants your business to succeed. Whittlesey is more than an accounting firm. They're advocates for your business, delivering a robust set of solutions, including audit, tax, technology, cybersecurity, and advisory services. Learn more at WAdvising.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Tracking a couple of sprinkles between Waterbury and Bristol and New Britain. These are moving off towards the east-southeast, bypassing the city of Hartford to the south. A couple more up towards Windsor and heading towards Enfield. So in the city itself, not expecting any sprinkles over the next 30 minutes, although there could be a brief shower here later this evening. Then things will wind up tonight. Partly cloudy, breezy. The temperature only 48 degrees. We'll have some windy conditions tomorrow with a few showers early in the morning, but the high only 57 degrees. Partly cloudy tomorrow night down to 44. Recovery on Sunday, partly sunny up to 74. And then a mix of sun and clouds Monday and Tuesday with a shower can't be ruled out both days. The high temperature 68 on Monday, 70 on Tuesday, partly sunny 72 on Wednesday. Right now, 73 in Plainville, 72 in Meriden, and 73 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth, Money Wisdom. This week we're talking about the retirement tax shock. What's that? Doesn't sound good? Guess what? Paying too much in taxes isn't. Tune in this Saturday at 8:30 on TIC News Talk 1080 and see if there's anything you can do about it.
Have bad teeth that need to be replaced? Don't like removable dentures? Worry no more. Come on down to Columbia Implant Center in Manchester any day of the week and ask for the all-on-4 procedure. Call us at 860-643-1898.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you.
Injured? Dial pound law. Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
If you're struggling to hear conversations, TV, or the people you love, now there's an easier, more affordable solution without spending thousands. Audion Hearing makes high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98 with free shipping and dedicated one-on-one support in the comfort of your own home. No doctor's offices, no pressure. Clearer hearing delivered right to your door. Join over 1 million happy customers hearing life more clearly. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Yeah, I'll take Jim. How you doing, Jim?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, sir. What's up?
I was thinking of something that, like, on the other side of Lyman, they're also manufacturers. they have a big factory right off of 91 and Middlefield.
Mm-hmm.
They manufactures dyes and sights. Like my father in the 50s was rebuilding a 1914, 1916 Mauser, and he was friends with Charles Elihu Lyman, and he bought Lyman sights and scopes. And also,
okay. I heard you. I didn't hear the word that you were saying there. So sights and scopes for rifles.
Yeah, for rifles.
Wow.
And 4 miles from the Lyman Orchards is the Blue Trail Range. It's still in the Lyman family.
I do know that.
And it's very extensive. I mean, you could get your state permit through there, get a Massachusetts permit or a 30 state Utah permit. And there's a lot to do there. She'd probably be interested to check it out.
We went to the Lyman Orchards 2 weeks ago.
I know you did.
Oh, okay.
And the range is only 4 miles away in Wallingford.
Oh, okay.
And it's not far from the Oakdale Theater, and it's southeast on Route 156.
Well, I'm going to be there on the 17th for...
I know you are.
Yeah, I'm going to be there for the...
I keep tabs on you.
You keep tabs on. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to go to the Open Door Outdoor Open. I think that's the name they're going to end up giving it. With Davey Edwards and my best friend Chris B. They're going to be there, so we're going to go check them. We're going to go check that out. I'm going to only stay for a little bit, and then because it's on a Wednesday, but it starts relatively early, so I'm going to be there 8:30, hang out until about roughly 10, 11 o'clock, and then get back here. I'm going to have to do some prep work the night before, so I don't have to,
One thing
rush.
to do. Your wife probably enjoy it.
Yeah, she loved the house. We took the tour. John Lyman gave us a tour of the house that's on site. Such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate you giving us a heads up on that.
Yeah, I know you're a busy man.
Thank you, sir. I know. I'm trying not to be. I'm trying to get as much done as I can and then relax, but I don't think that's really in the cards for me. And that's okay. That's fine.
Don't worry. I keep tabs on you.
Well, I appreciate someone doing it. Thank you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So this CSCU thing has been talked about here on the news, top of the hour, bottom of the hour. And I saw some of it, and some stories you want to stay away from, because one of the things, I had to apologize to John Silva, because I said, I talked about the man who is at the center of this, Mr. John Maduco. And as I started going through the details of this story with the interim chair here, there was a story that said that he was referring to himself as Dr. Mandingo. And so during one of the breaks, when we were talking about it, like all the revelations in the story, I said, for more on Dr. Mandingo, John Silva's in the WTIC newsroom. So he didn't hear me say it. I mentioned it to him. He's like, thanks, Reese. Because I just couldn't believe the story. And I'm like, I don't know if I even want to do this story, but the story gets worse the more I dig into it. Especially because of this. We're talking about a sexual harassment case that involves multiple people there. And that involves this one individual, again, the aforementioned John Manduco, or Maduco. And he resigned, yes, on April 24th, one day after being placed on administrative leave. The system's Title IX coordinator later closed the case because Maduco was gone and presented no imminent or continuing threat. We do, however, have another story to that, and that has been Karen Bluffkin, or is it Buffkin? Buffkin, who's now also on administrative leave, and Marty Guay, right? Is that how you say his name? Guay, Marty Guay. I know that's how it says. I knew it was Guay, but it looks like Guay here. But it's Marty Guay. How do I know that? Because every time I read his name, I want to say, Marty, don't talk to me that way. He is the former Board of Regents chair, and he resigned on May 18th. And, of course, there's a whole list of other names that are here, except for the people who are alleging this misconduct. But according to this Maduko character was saying things, and I'm going to keep this as PG as possible. There were early texts of him complimenting one person's appearance, her outfits, the way that she walks, often with googly eye emojis. He repeated nun jokes, like a nun. Comments about her vow of celibacy, accompanied by desert photos. Questions about her orientation, sexual in nature, and an invitation for a personal non-work trip to Atlanta. There was graphic escalation in this, unsolicited photos of himself in his undergarments, sculptures, sexual innuendos about her body, and distracting doorways memes of strippers and crudes are you on the menu type jokes. And a push to move conversations to the Signal app, which auto-deletes messages after they're given or after they're sent. And as all of this stuff is playing out, allegedly, what I'm finding out, the part that I'm sitting up here going like, what is this? What is this? What is this? He was there from June of 2025 until April of 2026. As I mentioned, he was gone. But what they're saying is that there was a 2-year back and forth in these text messages. There were 4 women involved. They're saying there's 60 pages of screenshots. They're saying that there were unsolicited, unwanted, escalating communication from May of 2024 to April of 2026. And that's 2 years. And according to this, and the reason why Miss Bufkin has been put on administrative leave is because some of the people who complained here said that they went to her. And I think it says here, CSCU General Counsel and Secretary of the Board said the first victim claims that she reported Maduko's behavior to Bufkin earlier. Bufkin allegedly responded by telling her to, quote, keep the circle tight and to conduct business as usual. No decisive action followed, and the harassment continued for days until a formal complaint forced Maduko out. Bufkin had been appointed in that role, in the general counsel role, in late 2024 after serving in employee relations at UConn. Her alleged minimization is now the core of the independent review, which is expected to be out sometime in June. I think I looked up. July. Right? Yeah, I think it's... No, my apologies. June 30th. That's when the full findings are supposed to come from this. It is going to be ugly because if it was 2 years of this stuff, it's going to be really, really bad. 2 years, nobody did anything. And if this guy is what's being displayed so far, as far as those text messages are concerned, which, by the way, I did not see. I just know that they came up on a screen as I was looking up the story a couple of weeks ago. I went, oh, nope, not touching that. Don't want to know my history. Nope. Especially when I heard about the Dr. Mandingo thing. I was like, oh, I'm out. But I am saved. I got baptized. Well, none of that on my ledger. But as I'm going through this, I'm like, this could only get worse. This internal review is going to get worse. It's going to be an atmosphere of a bunch of people just allowed to do whatever they want. 2 years? 2 years this guy was able to do that? And when someone spoke up, it was sort of like, keep it close. Don't say anything. What are we going to find out in an independent review? People are coming forward now. People who didn't come forward before who are now coming forward. What are they going to reveal? It's going to be ugly. Now, many people, I see you online, Connecticut Republicans. You're trying to stick this on Lamont. Hold on for a sec. he does have a problem with judgment. In fact, I just heard earlier today that there's a lot of reshuffling of Lamont's core sort of individuals and the people in his circle. Rufkin is one of those. Another one, who's the other woman here? Braswell. There are a lot of that reshuffling, people moving from this place to that place. They're all in Lamont's orbit. So I get the point you're making. Putting up memes and stuff and saying, see, Lamont's got other problems. The reason why none of this stuff sticks is because he's just reshuffling the deck. That's all it is. You are making this about the wrong thing. Stop saying that these people are, no. This is a judgment issue on the part of Lamont. And if he isn't responsible, if Lamont's going to tell you that it's people in his, his staff, his underlings who are making these decisions, I don't see how that's any different. It shows exactly who he works with. Reshuffling this, reshuffling that. So if you're going to focus on this, Republicans, if you want to lay this at the feet of Ned Lamont, it's real simple. When his friends screw up, he just shuffles them around. Maybe people should find out where that kid Datch is. Anybody remember him? Where's Datch now? His former chief of staff. You remember him. The guy who was driving around in a company car. The guy who allegedly didn't pay a hooker in Caracas. That's according to the report. You guys know it. I don't. I didn't write the report. If it's just a reshuffling of the deck, when everybody gets in trouble, you go here, you go there. Terrence Chang, folks. Huh? Nobody seems to be punished. That's where you make your move. That's the point you have to make. That no matter what, everybody fails up or lateral. But no one ever gets punished. They still find a way. Hey, yeah, 2 years of sexual harassment, that's okay. Listen, resign. We'll tell the news that you left, blah, blah, blah. See me in 6 months. We'll get something for you. And then sure enough, that guy gets hired somewhere else. Everybody in the media just turns a blind eye. Yeah, you remember that Maduko guy? Yeah. You talking about Dr. Mandingo? What's he doing now? Got another city job. You don't say. It's back to business as usual. That's the point you have to get. That's the one. That's the angle that you go. If you really want to tick people off at this administration, that's the angle you go on. Stop doing the whole. Lamont has no dirt on him until you get dirt on him. That's just how this goes. You guys can make that innuendo. Even when the people make the comments about his wife, right, in her business. Lamont could always escape. It's like, hey, it's my wife's business. Hey, I got nothing to do with that. Oakley dokley. And people move on. There's a reason why you go after the people. You don't try to stretch the imagination here. These are his people. The whole bunch of reshuffling. Pay attention to that. You want to do a great meme? Here's a great meme. Show like a game piece, like a chessboard. And just have the circle of friends moving on the board. With Ned Lamont holding all of the pieces, moving them around when something goes bad. That's a great visual. That's a fantastic visual. In fact, you could do that in AI. Such and such got in a scandal. What did Ned Lamont do? What did Ned Lamont do? He moved him to here. That's all. Ned Lamont protecting his friends while not protecting you. I did that in my sleep. Mark Christopher's back. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're heading into Hartford on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays 35 down to 32 A and B. Again, a little slowdown by exit 28 and some more slow traffic as you move from exit just after exit 20 in Middletown down to 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91 slowing, approaching 21 up to 22 in the Route 9 interchange. If you're westbound 84, that slows in East Hartford, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the downtown tunnel. If you are traveling to westbound, a little slow as you merge with 84 west. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound slows by 18 in Waterbury. Again, from 26 in Cheshire down to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 slows approaching 26 and again 23 in Waterbury up to the Mixmaster. If you are southbound on the Parkway, look for delays now from exit 52 down into the West Rock Tunnel and 95 South New Haven tight 46 down to exit 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Following a passing shower or two late this afternoon, a couple of showers overnight with a cold front coming through, and then those showers will continue through early tomorrow. Now, otherwise, it'll be rather breezy with a low temperature of 48. Not much recovery in the temperature tomorrow. 57 will be the high. After those showers, it'll be windy and cooler with a mix of sun and clouds. Partly cloudy tomorrow night down to 44, partly sunny 74 on Sunday, and a mix of sun and clouds with a shower possible Monday up to 68. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC News Update.
It's 4:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Karen Bufkin, the General Counsel for the State Colleges and Universities System, has been placed on administrative leave. That from the Board of Regents today, pending the outcome of a third-party independent review tied to former Interim Chancellor John Maduco for sexual harassment allegations. Earlier this week, former State Controller Natalie Braswell was tapped as the interim chancellor. She'll take over next month. Lloyd Blanchard, the CSCU chief financial officer, will run things for the time being. A federal judge has temporarily blocked President Trump's administration from paying any claims through a $1.8 billion settlement for allies who believe they were victimized by the Justice Department under the previous administration. The Department of Transportation here is addressing worker safety on highways. And then beginning Monday, they'll be rolling out speed cameras in four towns along highways to help keep construction workers safe. Those warnings will start going out next month. Also on the transportation front in Connecticut, the Gold Star Bridge, it's the big one in New London on Interstate 95. Going to see some major changes beginning this weekend. That includes moving some northbound travel over to the southbound side, offering 2 lanes on the primary northbound bridge during 4 years of repairs that are set to begin. And flights from Hartford to Louisville, Kentucky. Breeze Airways officially launching nonstop service this morning from Bradley over to Muhammad Ali International. The summer schedule operates on Mondays and Fridays with 137 seats. Wall Street finished the weekend in positive territory for the markets. Dow was up 363 points, NASDAQ gained 55, and the S&P was up 16. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Irby Fisher. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let's do the thing.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Stupidest thing I read today comes from joy.co by parent coach Maddie Ross. This one is titled The Nice and Naughty List and Being Good. This piece takes the classic Santa Claus tradition where kids hear he's making a list, checking it twice in songs, and declares it toxic, fear-based parenting, and a disaster that will scar children for life. That's right, folks. Santa Claus making a list and checking it twice is considered scarring to children, according to Maddie Ross, who is a parent coach. The core claim is that tying presents to behavior creates shame, promotes conditional love, and relies on a surveillance state anxiety instead of intrinsic motivation, and turns normal kid frustration during the overstuffed holidays into a shame spiral. Instead of harmless fun and a little external nudge towards better choices, it's reframed as a manipulative, emotional abuse that fails to teach kids real life skills. Again, this is a parent coach who wrote this. What's the most ridiculous bit in all of this? Tying your child's behavior to their worth with good or bad labels. That it does not build a stronger moral compass. It can actually lower confidence, resilience, and emotional awareness. Children might start to believe that they are a bad person if they are not perfect because of this. Because apparently generations of kids who grew up with this exact folklore are all walking around emotionally crippled, unable to handle mistakes without collapsing. Who knew coal in the stocking was a real original sin? They write. On the stupidity factor, this is being ranked 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I always thought that good behavior should be rewarded. I thought that was the whole deal. But now, I mean, this is ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, that's, I don't even know what to tell you. Folks, please go to WTIC.com/vet, WTIC.com/vet. Do not let that morning show outdo us, okay? Don't even let it happen, okay? Go there, donate. It doesn't matter what you donate. $1, $2, $5, $4,000. It doesn't matter. They did 7,000. I want more than that. Just go to WTIC.com/vets. We're going to help Tucker get to a very deserving veteran here in Connecticut so they can spend their lives together so they can do things that they haven't been able to do. And we'll be talking to one of those folks in due course coming up in the next break, Mr. Justin Prosser. If you didn't hear my interview with him before, we'll talk to him again in a couple of minutes. We'll talk to him about Aster. That's his dog. And their relationship. I have so many questions about this because Roseanne wants me to learn everything I possibly can about getting a service dog. I also need to know from Justin, and I'll ask him, do I get to touch the service dog if she has? I don't know. We'll find out. Let's check the weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's back. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon. If you're heading toward Hartford on the westbound side of I-84, you're going to see delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 46 Sisson Avenue. Eastbound 84 slowing, approaching 46 into the tunnel. 91 southbound delays Hartford 34 down to 32 A and B. A little slow down by exit 28. And a little tight again down in Meriden as you approach 19 down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Northbound 91's a little slow, approaching 21 in Cromwell. Then a good ride into Hartford. 2 westbound's a little tight as you merge to the 84 West. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. If you're eastbound 84 in Cheshire, you're slowing 26 to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 Waterbury, Cheshire slowing from 691 up to exit 26 in Cheshire. Southbound Parkway delays 52 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 South New Haven tight 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
The sprinkles that we were tracking about 30 minutes ago have faded and moved off towards the east. Could have a passing shower or two late this afternoon, early this evening. Partly cloudy, breezy. The low temperature tonight 48. Bundle up tomorrow. The final Saturday in the month, and the high temperature only 57 degrees. It'll be a windy and cool day with a couple of showers early in the day. Partly cloudy tomorrow night down to 44, and then Sunday is your pick of the day if you like the warmer weather. Partly sunny, 74 the high, 68 the high on Monday, 70 the high on Tuesday, and both days a shower is possible, but nothing to ruin any outdoor activities. Wednesday, partly sunny. That'll be one of the warmer days of the work week with a high of 72. Right now, it's 72 in Granby, 70 in Willimantic, and 72 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
The Travelers Championship. This is where greatness locks in. See the world's best. Defending champ Keegan Bradley, Scotty Scheffler, and more. June 24th through 28th at TPC River Highlands. Tickets at TravelersChampionship.com. Now is the time. This is the place.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth, certified financial planner from Money Wisdom. Get the answers to your retirement questions at our free educational dinner workshop. Reserve your seat today to learn about different strategies to maximize your retirement income, ways to reduce your lifetime tax obligation, and much more. Text WORKSHOP to 800-705-1232. That's WORKSHOP to 800-705-1232.
Johnson Brunetti is a marketing name for the businesses of JB Capital and JN Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
As promised, on the line with us is Justin Prosser. How you doing, sir? Welcome back to the program.
Good. How you doing?
I hope you enjoyed our last conversation. I did. I talked about you every day after that. Do you know that? I did.
No, I did not.
Yeah, I talked about you every day after that because I thought your story was so amazing. Justin Prosser is the 2024 recipient of a Canine for Connecticut Vets program from the Feather in My Heart Foundation. And your dog, again, is Aster. That's correct?
Correct.
All right. So Aster, by the way, how old is Aster?
Aster's now about 4.5.
Okay, 4.5. So, and you have been with Aster. I know they train them very young. So by the time you get Aster, what are we looking, a year, 2 years old?
I got him he was 2.
Okay, so 2 years. Your process begins at what age with Aster?
For Normally, it's probably about when the dog's about 14 months, 15 months.
All right. So it's very, very early in the dog's life. So in essence, the training process for them is that, dogs with the trainers at Forever in My Heart Foundation, and then by the time you get in, you're getting in relatively early in that in that dog's life. Technically, they become a part of your family in the dog's life. So you get them very early, and now I guess at this point you said 4 years old, so you're a little less than 3 years in. Yes. And this is in essence the only home that Aster has known. So everything that is a part of your life, Aster knows it probably better than you.
So exactly.
So I was asking about this before you got on, because I know you were talking about your wife, and this was part of the reason why I talked about you so much, and why it left such an indelible mark on me, is that when you talked about there were things that you had not done in 15 years that you were then doing naturally. You immediately felt comfortable going to a concert, going out to a restaurant. Even your wife was stunned at your change of behavior or the change in your personality, which brought me to the fact that my wife has been asking about a service pet. So my question to you is, what's the relationship like with your wife and Aster?
My wife and Aster, it's a normal dog-mom relationship.
Really?
But he goes everywhere with us, so he's just as close with her as he is me. I mean, but he's with me all the time.
Right.
But when we're out, if I'm got to do something, she'll take him, give him the commands. He listens to her just as well as he listens to me, because she has to go through the training too.
Oh, okay.
So she knows how to do it, and so it's not as extensive as the training I did. But
right.
She sees how I am with him, so that way she's learned, and it's just a unique relationship in itself.
Okay, so see, now I knew it. I felt it immediately, because a lot of people are going to be saying, it's like, wait a minute, you just talked to Justin before. You're bringing him back. There's always another layer to peel. That's why I love these conversations, is because you learn something new. So in essence, this Aster kind of is a service dog for both of you. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is the deep question. So does Aster sort of deal with your wife? In essence, is your wife almost feeling like there are some anxieties or differences in her behavior because Aster's in your life?
Well, she's not. She describes it. She's not as has to be. She doesn't have to watch me as much. She doesn't have to worry about triggers and this, that, the other for me.
Okay.
That I didn't even know she did until we talked about it after the fact.
Isn't that wild?
But, yeah. So she says that she's more relaxed because she knows he's there. So by him being there, she doesn't have to be on guard and worry about all these things.
Yeah, sort of like relaxed by proxy.
Yeah.
In a wild way. That's incredible, because now she doesn't. It's funny that you say that, because my wife, I told this story before. I think I was talking to Mickey about this, that Roseanne and I were at a restaurant someplace out in North, well, actually it was, in Southern Virginia. And at the restaurant, someone dropped a chair, but the chair made this big banging sound, like what can only be described. It sounded like a gunshot. That's how big the sound was. And it took Roseanne maybe 30 minutes in the restaurant to calm down. Her shoulders were up to her ears. She was so tense. And I thought about that. It's like in fact, we had a disagreement. I'll call it an argument, because when we're driving in the car, Roseanne cannot deal with small sounds. Like we have a hitch in the back of our car. If I take the hitch off and it's sitting in the trunk, if the metal is clinging in the back, like we're to make a turn and you hear clink, 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 that drives her nuts. And she immediately gets anxious about it.
Yeah, it's the same with me.
Is it really?
Trigger me. Yeah.
So,
but
go ahead, get it. I'm listening.
So with Aster, if that happens and he feels me tense up, he'll immediately, because he's laying down on the table in a restaurant and that happens.
Right.
He'll immediately get up, put his head on my lap, start searching for my hand to hey, pet me, rather than focus on all this other stuff.
Yeah, because what I've noticed, and the reason why I got upset with Roseanne about it, was I heard the dinging, and then I can see her reacting to it, and I'm on the highway, and I almost want to get off the highway, find the stupid dinging, and then stop it. You know what I mean? So it doesn't trigger, and it makes me uncomfortable. So I totally get what your wife is, you said your wife is experiencing, because she's saying, I don't have to be up in arms about the things that are going to trigger you, because Aster's there to sort of alleviate that in ways that, because we don't know as outsiders in that, even though we're a part of your life, we don't know exactly what's going to be the thing to get you off that trigger.
Yep. And what's amazing about the dogs is the way they're trained. Like, I'm in a hotel working at Fort Knox right now. The other night, the fire alarm goes off.
Oh.
It doesn't faze him.
Wow.
He just walks over to me and like, hey, let's go. Like, because he was trained in those environments. Like, they train him with fire alarms. They train him with all that. So, like, fireworks can go off. The dog doesn't rattle. He doesn't shake. He just stays right there. And everyone's like, how does your dog do that? I'm like, well, he's trained.
Yo, listen, I know that, you see, you went through the training. The rest of us, we know nothing about this because we've had our own dogs. And, a regular person with a dog trying to get them to not chase a squirrel, that is an ordeal, right? You know what I mean? That is like, come on, get over here and stop chasing the squirrel. And the dog, as obedient as the dog is on any other occasion, in that one moment, chasing a squirrel or chasing a cat, you can't rattle or wrangle that sucker in to do it. So when your dog doesn't go off the deep end, everyone's going, I've got a dog, and he will never do that. He would never behave that way.
He doesn't, like if we're in public and there's another dog, he may look at him, but he doesn't react to him. He doesn't do anything. The other dogs will react to him because there's a lot of dogs out there they say are service dogs, but they're not. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
But it's sad, but like, he's been attacked by one of those dogs in the past, but he doesn't rattle from it. He did become reactive for a couple days, but he doesn't get rattled by it. He just keeps moving. Like, they'll be barking at him. He just looks at them like, oh, you're a dummy. He keeps going.
That's got to be a great relationship. See, that's the part that I didn't understand. It's like, I almost feel like there's someone to get a service dog in the home. I'm thinking that there is this separation between my relationship with my wife and the service dog, that I sort of can't be, like, I have to mind my P's and Q's when the service dog is there. Like, I'm sort of a second fiddle. Did your wife feel that way in any way? Like,
sometimes she says, I think you love the dog more than you love me sometimes. But no, I mean, because when the dog's off, when he's home, he's a very well-behaved dog, but he's a dog.
So, so there is a separate relationship, like the service dog is, in essence, outside of the home. When you've got to go to work, when you're going to a concert or a restaurant, when you have to be out in public and things that may trigger you out there. At home, you don't have to worry about it as much because, in essence, you're in an environment that you understand and you're comfortable in. So the dog then sort of is off duty. Is it? I guess that's fair to say?
So when you, like, the second I go to put his vest on him, because if I'm going out in public and I go to I give him a command and I just say, get dressed.
Right.
And then when I put that vest on him, it's like a switch in him. You could like see it. Well, he knows now, okay, I'm not being a dog, I'm working.
I'm on the job.
Yeah. So then when we get done and I put him back in the car or we get home, I take the vest off him and I say free, and he knows he can go play.
You say free?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm like basically you're done. And he's just like, okay. And he starts jumping around like, I'm a dog again.
And so then it's sort of like, your wife can see him, pet him, and things like that. Yeah. Are there any strict rules that she has to abide with? The only reason why I'm asking that is, let's say I'm in the house and, I'm doing whatever, and, the dog comes by and, I say, oh, good doggy, and I go and grab a treat and I feed the dog from my hand. That's not prohibited, right?
No, she can do that.
Oh, okay.
She can do all that. When he's home, he's home. He does. The only thing we don't do is he doesn't get human food.
Right, of course.
Like I said, like when he goes to a restaurant, this, that, the other, you don't want him begging.
Right, absolutely.
So like that's the only thing is that really when he's off, he's off. When he's working, he's working.
Do you? Are there sort of like things that you do that are related to other folks who have service dogs? Like, you know, me, when I was in Northern Virginia, when I first got into AA, we had certain events. You know, we had boat rides, you know, all that other stuff. Is there something for folks with service pets that you go and do, sort of like yearly functions kind of deal, or even monthly ones?
Well, I volunteer. So because of the dog, I told you, the dog's done so much for me, I became part of Forever My Heart Foundation.
Oh, okay.
Became a board member.
Yeah.
So I will go do service dog presentations, this, that, the other, which I never would have thought about that 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
Right.
But I'll take them and I'll go to schools, or I'll go to a veterans home, or I'll go to certain things when they ask me to, and go do presentations with Aster.
Yeah.
To not only to show them off, but to talk about the foundation, this, that, the other.
Yeah.
Just because it's changed my life so much, the least I can do is give back.
Yeah, indeed. It must be kind of cool to show them off, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
I would listen to me. The stuff that Aster can do would impress me. You know, I've talked to, you know, other folks here who have service dogs with the, you know, pulling the covers off, going up and cutting on the light, you know, noticing night terrors before they begin, in your case. Like, those things are miraculous. Again, having had dogs, knowing darn well I can't get one to sit, you know, or stay in one place, to see dogs behave almost human-like is astonishing, and it's just something to see. I'm thoroughly impressed by that, and the way that your life has changed is also impressive as well.
Yeah, it's been more than a blessing.
I couldn't agree more. Well, you know what? Please say hello to Aster for us, and of course your wife, and thank you for sharing your story with us. And I know we're gonna talk to you next year. You know, if you are in town, I would love for you guys to come by the studio if you can. Okay?
I would love to. I mean, I'll be back in town from Kentucky in mid-July. So, if you seriously reach out to me, and I'll bring him by, and you can do another interview with him.
Would love it. Absolutely. Thank you so much, man.
All right. Thank you.
You got it, Justin Prosser. Prosser. Sorry, from Forever in My Heart Foundation. One of the Canine for Connecticut Vets recipients, and his dog Aster are phenomenal. Give to this organization, folks, not just because it makes me look good because I can beat Brian and company, but because it is a good cause. And just listening to how it's changed his life and might just change mine, because I think we're going to get one. I really do. I really think we might have to. Roseanne doesn't talk about it much, but you know, she really identifies with guys like Justin and other people, recipients who have service dogs. I think it's almost criminal not to do it for. So I'm considering it. I'm strongly considering it. But you should too. So go to WTIC.com/vets. WTIC.com/vets. Donate today. Donate as often as you can. I know this weekend we're doing something at, is it Duncan Park? We're doing something this weekend, I think, for them. Yeah, Duncan Park. I'm going to find out. I'll look up the day. On Sunday. It is on Sunday. Do you know what time? Whatever time the game is. Okay, so, and it's not the Wolfpack. Yard Goats, that's it. I keep thinking the Wolfpack is the base boy. It's the Yard Goats. My bad. The Yard Goats, during that game, they're going to be doing something with Canine for Connecticut Vets. I would presume or assume that there are going to be some of the dogs or some of the pets that are going to be there, but I know the staff will be there. So I don't know. Maybe we'll check it out. All right, stand by. Don't forget, WTIC.com/vets, WTIC.com/vets. Let's reach that $25,000 goal, and let's do far better than Brian Shackman and company did. Let's do better than them, okay? We just got to do it, okay? Not going to let these guys get bragging rights. They couldn't. Morgan Cunningham, who's a part of the morning show, he's the nicest guy. Until I walked in today, he started bragging about it, saying, I don't think it was 7,000. I think it was 10,000. Son of a gun. I'm like, I rub it in my face. I'm like, okay, challenge accepted. We'll see. We'll get word. We'll find out. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Another one of the cohorts this day, part of the company.
No, I did my donation at 9:30, so it wasn't on either show. It was kind of in between.
Oh, it was in between?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You didn't do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you were part of the company, so you're in that picture. I saw it. It says Brian and company got $7,000. You're part of the company.
Yeah, but I did it at a neutral
Yeah.
time.
No, I understand. No, your personal donation notwithstanding. I'm just talking about the donations that were given during Brian and company, which you're a part of.
Okay, all right. I apologize.
No
for
need.
whatever I did wrong. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. Again, a little slow down in Meriden, 19 down to 17. If you're traveling in the westbound side of 84, delays approaching the Bulky Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound's a little sluggish. 46 is an avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84, okay. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Westbound 84 in Cheshire slowing from from the 691 interchange up to exit 26 in Cheshire. If you are traveling on the westbound side of 84 in Newtown, look for slow traffic from exit 10 to 9. Eastbound 84 in Newtown slowing 10 to 11. And southbound on the Parkway, look for delays from exit 51 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Following a passing shower or two late this afternoon, a couple of showers overnight with a cold front coming through, and then those showers will continue through early tomorrow. Now, otherwise, it'll be rather breezy with a low temperature of 48. Not much recovery in the temperature tomorrow. 57 will be the high. After those showers, it'll be windy and cooler with a mix of sun and clouds. Partly cloudy tomorrow night down to 44, partly sunny 74 on Sunday, and a mix of sun and clouds with a shower possible Monday up to 68. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The State Board of Regents for Higher Education has placed CSCU General Counsel Karen Bufkin on administrative leave, this pending the outcome of a third-party independent investigation. CSCU has issued a public request for a firm. It's fallout from the resignation of the interim CSCU chancellor after he was accused of sexual harassment dating back 2 years, and how another complaint was handled. Governor Lamont responded earlier today.
We're looking at a fresh start, a thorough investigation, new acting chancellor, new chairman, and my direction to them is very clear. Find out what happened. How can we make sure it's less likely to happen again?
The Board of Regents chair resigned last week after a complaint against John Maduco. Marty Guay allegedly said he fired a woman who'd accused another employee of harassment. State Senate Republican leader Stephen Harding says it's more evidence of scandal in a broken system. Lloyd Blanchard will run the system until Natalie Braswell takes over on an interim basis next month. A legal setback to President Trump's plans to add his name to the Kennedy Center. Correspondent Karen Travers has that.
A federal judge said Friday that President Trump can't close or rename the Kennedy Center, ruling that it can't be officially named for anyone else unless Congress approves it. U.S. District Judge Christopher Cooper ruled that the rebranding of the Kennedy Center as the Trump Kennedy Center is a violation of the law, and he ordered that Trump's name be removed from the building within 2 weeks of this order. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Citing an epidemic of reckless driving, the State Department of Transportation is rolling out new speed cameras beginning Monday at 7 worksite locations. Keith Brothers is president of the Special Trades Council.
When you come into a work zone, we're not looking for you to hit the gas. We want you to hit the brake. Remember, those people behind those cones in that pattern, they've got families to go home to. That's the most important message. Everybody wants to go home the same way they came to work.
Officials say they tracked 8 million vehicles in work zones over a 3-month test period. 1.3 million were traveling 10 or more miles above the posted speed limit. So beginning Monday, they'll earn a warning. Then beginning June 6th, there will be a $75 fine for a second offense. Former Attorney General Pam Bondi grilled behind closed doors today by the House Oversight Committee over her release of the Epstein files and the DOJ on her watch. What it decided would and would not be made public. Survivors say more accomplices need to be held accountable.
This was her sort of mess to begin with. People like Bondi and now the FBI director, they were people who, before Trump was even elected, said this is why we need Trump in the White House, to release all these files. And then when she said that Epstein's client list was sitting on her desk, everybody got excited. And then it turned out that there was no client list, and documents that were put out at first under her watch were duplicative.
That's correspondent Aaron Katursky. President Trump's been in the Situation Room at the White House today, mulling over a final determination to whether to move forward with a deal to extend the ceasefire with Iran. A deal could extend the ceasefire by 60 days and reopen the Strait of Hormuz as new talks are held on Iran's nuclear program, although those with the Iranian government said that is not the case, at least not now. A few hundred Connecticut high schools are getting ready for work at Electric Boat. Students, the company's annual signing day in New London welcomes more than 300 high schoolers to work on the nation's next generation of subs as EB looks to add 8,000 new employees. There'll be openings in various areas, including the trades, welding, and metal fitting. On Wall Street, the Dow finished the day up 363 points. The NASDAQ gained 55, and the S&P was up 16. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we are back. I have to fix that. There we go. Chris Shea looks like he just walked into the door. I'll go grab him in a second. We'll talk to him for about an hour about his campaign. The first one against Jonathan DeBarros, and then against Johanna Hayes, depending on who ends up winning all of this. We'll get into that. But you know what time it is. News. Spice Girl Mel B turns 51 today. Let me know when Ginger Spice has a birthday. That's my favorite one. Noel Gallagher of Oasis turns 59. Melissa Etheridge turns 65. LaToya Jackson, infamous Jackson sister, turns 70 years old. And Danny Elfman from Oingo Boingo, he turns 73. And Danny Elfman, although he was in Oingo Boingo, he's more famous for every film ever made with Johnny Depp or a film that was directed by Tim Burton. That's where he's at. And, don't forget The Simpsons as well. On this day in 1942, Bing Crosby recorded the Irving Berlin classic White Christmas in just 18 minutes. It became the best-selling single of all time. In 1969, Atlantic Records released the self-titled debut album by Crosby, Stills, and Nash, featuring Sweet, Judy Blue Eyes, and Marrakesh Express. In 1997, singer-songwriter Jeff Buckley disappeared while swimming in the Mississippi River near Memphis. His body was found days later. And in 2021, B.J. Thomas, known for Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, died at the ripe old age of 78. That is your music news. B.J. Thomas, that's a Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. With great song. Back in the days. All right, so stand by. More news, more views. Chris Shea, he's sitting there. Go on, sit on over there. You're going to be across from me. Over here? Yeah, sit right over there. And we'll talk to him about his campaign and much, much more. Stand by for that as we get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher's here. Yeah, Danny Elfman, no doubt. Weird Science. No doubt. You can always rely on Mark Christopher. Danny Elfman, Oingo Boingo, that group, which should have been, it was almost considered a joke. But when this guy started working with Tim Burton, it was everything in his life changed.
Yeah, this is in my top 10 movie list, just so you know.
Oh, Weird Science?
Yes.
Really?
When I was a 8-year-old kid. When
I
thought this movie was everything.
Yeah, I can see that. This
is a great song, though. I love
it. Was.
Song. Great song. All right, guys, if you're heading into Hartford right now, we're coming to you from the from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. 91 southbound delays 34 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. Slowing again 19 to 17 in Meriden. Westbound side of 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound's tied up, approaching 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. If you are heading toward Middletown, both sides of 9 heavy, approaching the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound slowing by exit 32 in Berlin. Heading into Waterbury, 84 eastbound. Got some slow traffic, 17 to 18. Again, sluggish, 26 down to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 slowing, 26 up to 25A in Waterbury. Southbound Parkway delays 51 down to the West Rock Tunnel. And 95 South New Haven tied 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Stacking a sprinkle or two moving through Hartford. Those will be gone in the next 10-15 minutes. A couple of showers again later this evening and overnight as a cold front comes through. Partly cloudy, very chilly. The low temperature 48. We only hit 57 degrees tomorrow after a couple of showers early. Windy and colder. If you're going up towards the Boston area, those gusts there 50 to 60 miles per hour, but at least not as high in the Hartford area. Gusts will reach anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour tomorrow. Partly cloudy, down to 44 tomorrow night. Partly sunny. We get a rebound in temperatures Sunday with a high of 74. 68 on Monday with a shower possible. 70 on Tuesday with another shower possible. And partly sunny on Wednesday, the high 72. Right now, 71 in Bloomfield, 69 in Coventry, and 72 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Make your money work harder for your future. Catch Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom tomorrow morning at 8:30 for essential retirement tips. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe. Whether it's $5,000 or $5 million, you deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
Chuck McDowell here with Red Pocket Mobile. How long have you been stuck with the same phone plan? 2 years? 5? 10? Are you tired of surprise fees and confusing bills that never match what you thought you were paying? Cut the nonsense.
Right now at redpocket.com, new and existing customers adding a line can get our premium 5G plan for just $5 a month. That's only $60 a year.
And here's the kicker. Red Pocket Mobile gives you access to all 3 5G networks. You pick the one that works best where you live or work, or switch anytime for better coverage. And with Red Pocket, you keep your phone and your number. Why in the world would you not switch? Red Pocket Mobile, your new ultimate cell carrier.
Celebrate Memorial Day with big savings from Red Pocket Mobile. Right now, new and existing customers can get our premium 5G plan for just $5 a month. Just $60 a year and choose from all 3 major 5G networks with one locked-in low price at redpocket.com. That's redpocket.com. redpocket.com.
From politics to news to music to movies and anything above the sun and outer space and beyond, it's Reese on the radio. Damn, he's good. Only on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, back on the show, and of course, as promised, Mr. Chris Shea is here. Candidate for the 5th District of Connecticut, facing off in a primary with Jonathan DeBarros, and if he should succeed there, going on to face Johanna Hayes. This is this new territory for you?
As far as politics?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a career public servant. I'm not a career politician.
Not a career politician.
Correct.
Okay. What brought you into the fray? I'm always interested in the people who choose this life, because it is cutthroat. It is dirty. There's a lot of dirty pool in this, and there's a lot of fighting and infighting, which of course you're a part of. We'll get to that in a minute. But why would you join this? Like, who would volunteer for this?
Yeah, that's a darn good question. If my wife had her way, it never would have happened. But she's a trooper now. But a couple things. I mean, I was down in D.C. during the COVID nonsense, right? One of the few guys that did not get the shot in the Pentagon, believe it or not, and stood my ground on that with, house on the line, career on the line, plans we had, and kind of saw how a lot of people in leadership positions really didn't lead. And then, you look here in the state of Connecticut, and, I don't know Johanna personally from a hole in the wall, but I do know where she sits politically, being, depending on which list you look at, 418 or 420, based on her votes left of every other congressperson down there, right? I have a daughter. I hope I'm blessed to have grandchildren. I can't see ceding their futures to that kind of legislation, because I can see, as a guy who's been downrange and been places doing things at the behest of politicians and at the behest of policy, it's a problem when people are in those positions that don't really know, what the implications are of what they're sending down. So I figured, hey, I could be Clint Eastwood and be like, hey, get off my lawn in 20 years and be pissed off, or I could get in and do something about it.
Let me ask you that, because, it has often been said, I've never had the opportunity to ask someone this, with the exception of my wife.
Okay.
But she's not in politics, but she is a veteran.
Yeah. What'd she do? Thank you for her service, by the way.
She was combat medic. She trained for it. She was not deployed, though. So I guess it's unfair. She was a medic. So I guess she asked me to, she always corrects me.
You get trained as a combat medic.
Yeah, trained as a combat medic, but she's a medic.
Army or?
Army, yes. She is not the right person to ask, so I'm asking you because you have served, Navy SEAL, and many people say is that we need politicians who understand when we put our young people in harm's way.
Correct.
So I've never gotten the opportunity to ask. So kind of off the beaten path of this conversation, does it make you more apt to put young people in harm's way, knowing what it's like to have been put there? Like, because I always find it interesting that everybody says that, the people who are sitting in Congress who are going to be sending our young men and women out there, they don't understand what it's like. Right. So if you become the guy who was what it's like, will you be hesitant to make a decision because you know what it's like? Or would you be more gung-ho because you have? Like, how do you balance that?
It's funny. It's a really great question, but I don't think it's an A or B.
Okay, that's fair. Right? That's fair.
So I'll say this. I know what the costs are. I know them all too well. We've sent buddies back in boxes, and I know what that's like, right, up close and personal. There is a price to pay. There's bigger prices to pay to not have. We're pretty fat and happy here in the United States of America, right? That's
fair enough,
right? And that is at the behest of folks that are going out and doing things in harm's way. I think there's a thing, Jordan Peterson mentions this thing. It's called the chain of causality, right?
I love it. Yeah,
and he talks,
very well.
I don't know if you ever heard him. He talks about this thing. There's these really big-brained engineers that can, design the electrical grid, right? But they can't wire that plug in the wall over there, right?
Yeah.
So that's a problem. When people that are at a certain level of leadership and sending people to do things that don't have experience or things to lean on or tangible things, friends they can bounce those ideas off of, like, hey, does this make sense? Should we be doing this? Should we be doing that? I think that's a problem, and I think it's somebody quoted me the stats of like how many prior military folks we had in Congress years ago and how many we have now, that it's a really much smaller percentage. And so I don't know that I would be less or more inclined to send people. I says, obviously we need to send people for the right reasons. We have our Constitution, we can't be the police of the world, but we are the standard bearer for what's, in my opinion, what's right in the world, right? The right, Judeo-Christian values, what we stand on, freedom of speech, all the Bill of Rights that we have here it's so funny how people take it for granted here,
Sure.
right? So, I would say that for the right reasons, I would have no problem signing off on sending people through, but I want to know that they're the right reasons.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things we've gotten in trouble with, and this is a cross that myself and the guy sitting out there has bared for a long time, is we haven't been. When's the last time we were allowed to win?
Good point. I agree. Yeah, World War II. That's absolutely right.
We've not been allowed to win. We've been allowed to do enough just to not lose and then quietly quit. Right? That's not a recipe for success either, right? So I think if we're going to send our folks in harm's way, we give them the tools that they need to get the job done and employ them to get the job done the way it needs to be done.
Yeah, it's a good point because, and the reason why I asked that is because I would have loved to have been in a room during a Senate hearing or even a congressional hearing with John Kerry.
Okay.
After he took his dog tags and medals and threw them over the fence at the White House. Remember that?
I vaguely. Vaguely.
But see, I would want to know that guy, like what his voting record would be in the event that we had to put people in harm's way. Both of you served, but both of you view that service differently. This guy gave a speech one day and he says, you can come to this school. I can't remember what school it was, but he said, you can come to this school and get an education and make something of yourselves, or you can end up in the military. Which Kerry said that. It was like one of the most, and again, there's a guy who served.
Pathetic.
This is the reason why the Swift boat guys came in and destroyed him. Yeah, they didn't like him because, again, he didn't really serve with them, if you will. Right. So
thought he was above him.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying in this position, like what is going to be the standard bearer for you, having served, you know what I mean, and have been in the muckety muck, if you will, that when that time comes, can it harden you to say, yeah, we got to go in, or can it soften you to say, I don't want to see anybody go through what I saw? You know what I mean? That's the reason why I asked the question. So getting into politics, knowing what you know and seeing what you've seen, and you know that this particular sport involves a lot of ego.
It does.
And a lot
for some people more so than others.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
So we got into a little bit of that during the convention.
Yeah.
It is the only question that everybody wants me to ask. I promise you, we've got plenty of time to talk, but I want to get this out of the way.
I know.
This, as it's alleged, I couldn't hear the video, but I know I saw it.
Yeah.
That after the convention, or when the convention vote came in, and your opponent, Jonathan DeBarros, got 22%, that there was an exchange of words.
Yes.
Instead of asking what happened, was it the best thing to happen?
Well, I tell you what. This is an A and a B answer, right? There's A. I'm very proud of my wife sticking up for me and sticking up for the veterans that, in some way, were threatened online by the post that somebody made, right?
Okay.
So, I have the receipts if you want to see them. But there was something was posted after a sitting congressman gave me his endorsement.
Okay.
Did you see the Michael Myers?
I
thing?
saw the Michael Myers thing.
Right. So. Bloody knife. I don't negotiate. I eliminate. So that's to my wife. That's pretty.
You thought that was egregious and beyond the pale.
Yeah, and then Michael Myers dancing. I mean, people are lucky they didn't get calls from Capitol Police from that one. If we're being frank, right?
Okay.
That's especially with histories that could be taken very easily taken a certain way, right?
Okay.
And my wife was like, "Hey, I thought you were about the veterans. I think it was disrespectful what you did. You shouldn't do that again."
Okay.
That was what was said. And I know her voice, right? I can pick it out of a crowd, right? So that's what was said. And then there was something, I think it was on Gary. It was addressed on Gary's show. And it was said that somebody else came up to him earlier during the day. Well, somebody came up to him earlier during the day because our campaign through a luncheon, like a lot of, Fazio's campaign through a donuts thing. Some people throw dinners afterwards. We threw a luncheon for folks. And, he was going to wait staff and tell him the Shea campaign is running an illegal luncheon, and this is like my person from my campaign got a call from the head of catering at Mohegan Sun say, hey, what are you guys doing here? Are you guys running an illegal event? So that was the first exchange during the day was that person was, hey, we're not doing anything. This is all above board. It's exactly what people do.
So there had been some back and forth between,
Right.
and from what I'm gathering is that there had been some back and forth that you guys believe, both of your sides are believing that were being said and done out of bounds.
It was being said.
Huh?
It was being
Yeah,
said.
there were things that were being said.
We had staff come up to us like, hey, what are you? And these are wait staff. They have no.
Okay, so to get to Jonathan's remarks about this, because this is an important allegation in all of this, and I know that the back and forth, Jonathan has said things like he hasn't used the word carpetbagger, but he's gone that close as to say, in essence, you are the preferred GOP candidate, where in essence they are trying to do him in because he in essence is going after the people he's calling rhinos, hence which started this whole Michael Myers. Yeah, well, I know. Hey, let me tell you right now, just so I know that, I use the slang term keeping it 100.
Yeah.
I tell the truth to him as much as I tell the truth to you. I told him I didn't like a lot of the bomb throwing. I told him right to his face, and not only that, I told him that privately. I tell him I don't like the bomb throwing. I don't like it. And when I say the bomb throwing is, of course, go after your opponent, but it's the unnecessary stuff that doesn't need to be done. What I'm saying in this case is that it has gotten ugly in the sense of he was called a murderer.
Right.
Okay?
Not by me.
Okay, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
But knowing that and what it entails, like you said, the whole comment about you having an illegal luncheon, right? On both sides, there are some very unscrupulous things that are being said because it has become a personal campaign between the both of you.
Well, let me ask you that because I heard you say something. You started the thing off yesterday. And I want to ask a question. You said, "I see. It's obvious." You said something to the effect, "It's obvious you guys don't like each other." And I'm going to throw a question back at you.
Yes.
Where did you get that from? From anything on my website? Anything I've said anywhere?
No.
Where did you get that from?
When I say don't like each other, well, first of all, when I say not liking each other, there is not what I would call a campaign of dual charge.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, my plan is better. I can get this done.
Right.
There are a lot of personal attacks. Right? And when you are going after somebody personally and has nothing to do with the campaign, this is not I like you kind of guy. This is the politics of personal destruction. Right? And again, not that Jonathan isn't guilty of it. I tell you, I looked at the Michael. He sent it to me. What he said. This is the thing that everybody's up in arms about. I looked at it. I just went, okay, bridge too far. For me. It just is. That's my opinion. But then again, what the hell else is new? I always have an opinion. Right? But I can get that would be for you. It's like you're going to interpret it the way that you interpret it. I'm going to interpret it as unnecessary.
Right.
What my problem is, I shouldn't even say my problem. What I see the issue here is that there is not an exchange of ideas to the people who have to vote for you. It is turning into this us against them thing, even with the voters who, in essence, have to then band together and go after what I called Moby Dick here, the white whale.
Right.
At the end of it, if everybody's bruised and everybody's angry, if you win the primary or if Jonathan wins the primary, are people going to take this personally and just going to say, well, because of what Jonathan did to Chris Shea, I'm not voting for him? Or what Chris Shea did to Jonathan, I ain't voting for.
Right.
How do we get past the crazy nonsense? Because that's what I'm calling it. It's just nonsense at this point.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great point. And again, I would challenge anybody to see where I've been partial to that. Bomb throwing, any of the attacks. There have been no attacks from my side, and I challenge anybody to find them. There's people, there's trolls. The Democrats are giving them the biggest problem online. They're the ones who are, somebody's got a rainbow flag, is murder. That's like, I've seen that a bunch of times, right? They're going to love that, and they're going to have a field day with that. That's their problem. It's not mine, right? I don't think it's about that. And I will tell you this. I saw, first time I met Jonathan, it's kind of funny because he said something about bullies, right? I think he said something about being bullies. You got to stand up to bullies.
Yeah.
So we met the first time at Aaron Stewart's announcement.
Okay.
Right? And I was there, and I was a rumored candidate.
Okay.
Right? And there's this idea that I just jumped into this thing. By the way, I almost ran against George in the first place. I was down in D.C. I met with the NRCC back then.
Okay.
Right? I was considering running then. It was in my exit from the Navy. I was, in that world. And met with folks on Capitol Hill, met with the NRCC, met with folks down there. And a lot of the same people I'm meeting with now at the White House and the NRCC and different members.
Hold on one second, because unfortunately, I got to get to traffic and weather. Yeah, it's coming up in a second, but we're going to get to the bottom of this. Don't worry, we got plenty of time afterwards. But let me get to the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. I'm going to read a couple of notes here, and then we'll get to the rest of your story, exactly how we get to where we are trying to get in a second. Right. Chris Shea is here with Reese on the radio, a candidate for the 5th District in Connecticut against Jonathan DeBarros, and hopefully one of these guys will go after Johanna Hayes in due course. Let's get to weather traffic with Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. And this traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. Westbound side of 84 slowing in East Hartford, approaching the Bothia Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound sluggish, stop and go. 44 Prospect Oakwood down into the tunnel. 91 southbound tight in Hartford, 34 down to 32 A and B. Another bump down by exit 28 Hartford Weather Shield line. And then you'll see some heavy traffic from 20 Country Club Road in Middletown right down to exit 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. 9 southbound slowing Cromwell Middletown line to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound's a little slow at the Aragoni. If you're traveling 84 eastbound Middlebury Waterbury line between 17 and 18, we have an accident starting in the left lane. It's now over on the right shoulder. If you are traveling westbound 84 in Cheshire, delays approaching 26 up to the Mixmaster. And northbound Parkway delays approaching 46 into the West Rock. Southbound Parkway, you're tight 51 in Hamden into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic moves slow, but your transformation shouldn't. Columbia Implant Center provides full dental implants in just one visit. Open 7 days a week in Manchester to fit your busy life. Get your smile back today at ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
We've got a cold front on the way for the start of the weekend. A couple of showers tonight and the first part of tomorrow morning. The low temperature 48 tonight, only 57 degrees tomorrow. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, down to 44 degrees. Sunny, warmer on Sunday. A few clouds coming in later in the day. The high temperature 74. Then a shower possible Monday and Tuesday. 68 the high Monday, 70 on Tuesday. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 5:30, 72 degrees under mainly cloudy skies in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Karen Bufkin, the general counsel for the state colleges and universities system, has been placed on administrative leave. That from the Connecticut Board of Regents today. It is pending the outcome of a third-party independent review tied to former interim chancellor John Maduco for sexual harassment allegations. Governor Lamont says he expects the review to yield answers to some troubling questions.
And how did the board and how did the central office respond? That's what we've done to every single one of these issues as they come up over the last 7 years. No difference here.
Earlier this week, former state controller and lawyer to Governor Lamont, Natalie Braswell, was tapped as interim chancellor. In a statement, Senate GOP leader Stephen Harding blasted what he called scandal after scandal within the system. Lloyd Blanchard, the CSCU chief financial officer, will run the CSCU until Braswell comes on board next month. Unclear whether a new draft of a potential deal between the U.S. and Iran will get a final approval. President Trump spent the day in the Situation Room at the White House making a decision on its approval. But the Iranian state television media says that Trump's characterization of the draft proposal is not accurate.
Iran, according to state media, is rejecting the idea that they are going to let traffic move freely through the Strait of Hormuz without the tolls that they had previously mentioned that they would impose. Those are the things that they were working on Oman with, by the way. And they're also, making no mention of the nuclear program in that there's no agreement, but rather they're calling it a commitment for a commitment. So in other words, saying we're not going to talk about this issue right now.
Correspondent Christiane Cordero. A man is dead following an industrial accident in New Haven. Investigators say the 23-year-old was pulled onto a conveyor belt while working to offload fertilizer. Fire chief says he worked for Anastasio Trucking. OSHA is heading that investigation. Federal judge has temporarily blocked President Trump's the Trump administration, that is, from paying any claims through a $1.8 billion settlement for allies who believe they were victims of a weaponized government. And a district court judge has ruled the board overstepped its statutory bounds by unilaterally adding President Trump's name to the Kennedy Center. Congress gave the Kennedy Center its name, the judge says, and only Congress can change it. The judge also ruled that the board's March 16th vote to close the facility was ill-informed and seemingly preordained. Kennedy Center officials say they are planning an appeal. Wall Street, the Dow up 363 points today, the NASDAQ up 55, and the S&P added 16. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Keep WTIC News Talk 1080 with you all summer long for the information you need. Weather forecasts from Bob Cox help you plan your summertime activities. Taking a trip? Mark Christopher's traffic reports will get you there without the hassle. Plus, up-to-the-minute news reports twice an hour. No matter where you go, listen on the Odyssey or iHeartRadio apps and stay informed with what's going on back in CT. Because when you're on vacation, we're not. WTIC News Talk 1080. The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
This is only a short break, Chris, so I'll get you back into this. But if you're just joining us, we are here with Chris Shea. He is running for the Connecticut 5th District, and he is in a primary with Jonathan DeBarros. We're talking about the back and forth between. I really, really want to get into policy, and not so much about the whole back and forth, but because that is kind of the hot topic right now, and I'm trying to get sort of, some people unified in here, but it's not something I can force, and I have no control over it. Right. So I kind of want to just have that discussion and get it as out of the way as possible and talk about the things that matter. In a minute that I have before I go to traffic and weather, we're going to talk about, one, how you got into the race, the assertion that you are sort of like the GOP pick, and how that's being taken by the DeBarros campaign. And you want to address that. Also, you want to address the fact that you are saying that you have extended an olive branch to Jonathan DeBarros. Right. And I want to give you an opportunity to talk about that as well. Okay. And we'll talk about that and much, much more as well. There is always going to be this, how do I put it, personal sort of involvement in politics. That's just where we are today.
Right. It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. And it is it's an interesting one to watch on this side, right? Especially here. Not that I haven't seen it before. I've been in enough campaigns to know that there can be some infighting. Right. But I've always...
Not in the Republican Party.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, trust me. I've seen it way far too much. But there's a lot of stuff that can be done in order to remedy that. I want to talk about that in even a little time that we do have when we come back. So stand by for that. Chris Shea is here, again, candidate for the 5th District, running in a primary against Jonathan DeBarros. Both are vying to take on Johanna Hayes in the 5th District. And we'll get to that in due course, so stand by. Mark Christopher's back. He is at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
This is wild, and I'm going to bring this up.
Yeah.
Because there was another Christopher Shays who was in the House of Reps in the 4th District here in Connecticut from 1987 to 2009. So I'm hearing this name, I'm going, this is a different Chris Shea.
Yeah.
But it's wild.
Yeah, this is a different Chris Shea. Isn't that wild?
Oh, so it's Shea, not Shays with an S.
No, this is Shea like Shea Stadium.
Well, I'll tell you what, his name recognition should be good because, you know.
That's a good point.
The other Chris Shea was a representative here for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to him. If you're heading into Hartford right now, this traffic report being brought to you by Whittlesey. And if you're heading into Hartford, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32A and B. Again, down by exit 28. And some more slow traffic as you move from 20 in Middletown down to 17 for the Wilbur-Cross Parkway. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Sigourney Street in Hartford. 84 eastbound moving into Hartford, sluggish stop and go 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. 2 westbound have got delays now from 1D up to the 84 west merge. 9 southbound slowing Cromwell Middletown line down to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound a little slow getting by 32 in Berlin. If you're heading toward Waterbury, we have an accident on the right shoulder between exit 17 and 18. Just a little bit of a slowdown there. And again, a little tight as you move by exit 26 in Cheshire. Westbound 84 slows 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. And southbound Parkway, you've got delays approaching 51 in Hamden into the West Rock Tunnel. Whittlesey wants your business to succeed. Whittlesey is more than an accounting firm. They're advocates for your business, delivering a robust set of solutions, including audit, tax, technology, cybersecurity, and advisory services. Learn more at wadvising.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
We've had a break with a couple of sprinkles that were passing through. Dry for the next several hours, and a couple of showers return later this evening and through early tomorrow. That's a cold front that promises us a big change in the temperature, down to 48 tonight. The high 57 degrees tomorrow. After those early morning showers, it'll be windy with those gusts anywhere from 25 to 35 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, down to 44. Partly sunny, up to 74 degrees on Sunday. A mix of sun and clouds with a shower possible both Monday and Tuesday. 68 the high on Monday, 70 on Tuesday, 72 degrees with a partly cloudy sky, partly sunny sky on Wednesday. Right now, 68 in Hebron, 72 in New Britain, and 72 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Make your money work harder for your future. Catch Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom tomorrow morning at 8:30 for essential retirement tips. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks. Discover smart business buying, where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
With McValue at participating McDonald's, get our meal deal featuring a McDouble, 4-piece McNuggets, small fries, and a small Coke for $6. Or get a McChicken deal for $5. Price of participation may vary.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, just about to get up out of here. Our guest is Chris Shea for Connecticut's 5th District. Go to ChrisSheaForCongress.com. And that is, again, ChrisSheaForCongress.com. So you can check out everything. I'm hoping we get as much as we can in this break. We got a considerable amount of time. You were saying something before we went to the break. What was the to finish your thought? Because I want to get into some other stuff.
I don't even remember.
That's all right. But you know, I don't want to go through all of the allegations about you. I want to get to your campaign. This is opportunity to introduce you to the audience. Right. But this has sort of been said by you by those who were started, because Jonathan started like a year and a half ago, right? And his view was, you know, he was in it first, that you all of a sudden came out of nowhere and you were sort of the establishment's candidate to thwart him. He took that personally. You guys have met place. You said you met at the Erin Stewart campaign headquarters, I guess her announcement. And it was kind of like this.
Ballpark.
I'm sorry? At the ballpark. Okay, and there was a little bit of like kind of a big brother shoving kind of. So
no,
what?
It was
a lot of machismo.
Well, I'll tell you what it was. It felt like I was at a high school dance. It was It was a little ridiculous. I guess he recognized who I was, and there was a lot of looks, a lot of whispering, and then finally, she goes to start making her speech, and he walks from 10 o'clock right at me, turns, crosses his arms, and stands in front of me, 5 feet in front of me.
Okay.
Right? And I'm like, so I stepped to the side and continued watching the gubernatorial candidate give her speech. I'm not going to get into that nonsense. And then somehow we ended up in different parts, and then later on, I'm with somebody from my campaign. We're talking to, I think, an RTC chair or something like that. He comes across the thing, really, really loud, really boisterous, talking to the guy that we're talking to, cuts in the conversation, trying to pretend we're not there. I extend my hand out. I say, hey, Chris Shea, nice to meet you. Right? And he was like, oh, you're that guy trying to run against me, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you do that? You know, his whole thing about, why don't you run in 2 years against Blumenthal, and you can help me in the cities, which is funny. He wants me to help him in the cities, but he thinks I can't do anything in the cities. It's kind of a mixed message there, right? And I'm like, well, and I listen out, and I says, hey, listen, you know, this didn't just start recently, and I think I told you this. My career and preparation for this started 35 years ago when I raised my right hand for the first time, and then raised it again multiple times, you know, to protect against all enemies, foreign and domestic, right? Multiple times, you know, re-enlisting, getting commissioned, all that stuff at the fire department, getting sworn in there, becoming an officer in the fire department, same thing, right? Raised my right hand and, you know, served both here and overseas. And I think I told you on the break, I had started looking at this when George ran last time. Met with the NRCC back in.
And this is before George became a candidate?
No, George was a candidate. I was just down in D.C. and was fed up with the way things were going. I said, you know, when I go back to Connecticut, I want to run for office. Timing wasn't right. My poor wife would have lost her mind if we were trying to move in and run for Congress. Knowing what I know now, totally impossible, right? But we had looked at it, and I met George. And I told George, I said, hey, man, I was going to run for the seat. I said, but the NRCC asked me not to run against you because they didn't want two good candidates getting in there, exactly what you're talking about, lumping each other over the head.
Right.
I saw what George believed in, the things that he had going on, and I figured, yeah, you know what, George? Whatever you need, man. I says, you want to pimp the Navy SEAL thing out? I'll come and speak at things for you. Whatever you want to do, I'll talk about my experience in D.C. and how I think what you can do can fit into. His campaign, I would argue, wasn't that organized in some certain, because they never came back to me for that. So it was what it was. But next cycle, you know, I mentioned it to Senator Berthel. He's like, "Hey, you really want to do this?" I said, "Well, it's been in my head. It's been on my soul. I have a whole nother story with from prayer that I could get into as well that came to me. But it's like, hey, long story short, he told me, hey, I gave you broad shoulders for a reason, right? That came to me in prayer, and it was after a lot of reflecting about why wasn't I on the helicopter for Extortion 17, because him and I were both in country for that and had stuff shifted a couple days. I would have been with 2 Troop and would have been on that helicopter, right? So it's like I still got stuff to do. Okay, so it's not this just didn't pop out of thin air, right? And the idea that like being insulted because somebody jumped into the race on their timing. Everybody's got to do this on their own timing when their family's right. We were in the midst of a big, huge house renovation and addition. My wife's like, absolutely not until this is done. We're not starting a campaign with people shingling roofs and doing drywall and that stuff. And she was right. And I told the people that wanted me to get in October, September, October. Come on, you got to get in. You got to start raising money. And about the money thing, I heard something the other day about, hey, Ben Proto told me, pushed me off for the money. I'm going to say something. I have not heard a straight story from anybody politically, all the experts. I haven't heard much from you yet, but like any expert in politics has given me information like, hey, you need to get on 91 North right now and go 100 miles an hour. And the next expert is like, go tomorrow, don't go a mile over 55 and do it tomorrow morning, right? The advice will be head south, right? The advice will be that. The one thing from Ben Proto, from Berthel, from the NRCC, from the congressman that I've met all along the way, from the president's political team who we met with last week, from the people that I met with the Capitol Hill Club last week, from the people I met with down at Mar-a-Lago a couple weeks ago, none of them have said anything different about that. It's an ugly part of the game. It sucks. But you know what it is?
So what you're saying is that, just so nobody gets lost in what you're saying, because you made a point and then moved on, was that Ben Proto told you the same thing he told Jonathan. You got to come up with $500,000. Well, that may indeed be true. But, Jonathan's story was, in essence, the way he feels, or he said that Ben Proto said it to him was, in essence, it was dismissive. Don't even come and holler at me unless you got $500,000. Right. He wanted to talk to him about far more than that, and he felt like he couldn't even start a conversation with him without money. That was an issue that he had. I don't know what your conversation was.
That's between him and Ben Proto.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And the other thing is, too, at the end of the day, politics is a popularity contest.
Understood.
Right?
Understood.
And if you're nice to people and you've got a record and a record of service that people can relate to and be proud of and be proud to see up there representing them. And I think like I said, I started that 35 years ago. I've put up a pretty good scoreboard as far as like people can be proud. I mean, I didn't fake being a Navy SEAL. I didn't fake being a firefighter. When, I'm the guy that runs towards bullets. I'm the guy that runs into the burning buildings. I'm the guy that was in downtown Waterbury working for Camden Ambulance, running into houses on Willow Street, Plaza Avenue, all over downtown there. I'm very familiar with by the way, I boxed at, I was the dumb white kid that strolled into the mostly Puerto Rican and black gym on North Main Street, round 2, where I won the light heavyweight Golden Gloves back in 1992. Right? Started going there. So, I kind of bounced around there, but it's like.
No, I think what you're trying to say here, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you are not some establishment pick. You're not some made-up character that the RNC has put together in order to.
The thing I have learned about the money part, dialing for dollars sucks. It's hard work.
Sure.
You've got to be willing to sit there and say, hey, Reese, Chris Shea, retired Navy SEAL, firefighter, and veteran nonprofit founder. Can I take a minute of your time? Yeah, I'd love to earn your support for my upcoming race. Like hundreds and hundreds of times a day, getting hung up on. I'll call you back. They blow you off. You're leaving voicemail. I've left hundreds, if not thousands, of voicemails. Right, that's the part of the game. And like I was saying, for him and I going to Buds and becoming a SEAL, there's a screening process. This is part of the screening process because the people in D.C., the people that are going to put their money behind you, because we don't get the state money like the people do here in America. We eat what we kill, right? That's it, period. So if you don't get out there and get after it, so that's part of the screening process. And I had one of the head advisors to Trump and the whole NRCC, him and I had a 15-minute conversation day before yesterday. He said, Chris, quite frankly, we looked at this race. We've gotten burnt a couple of times. We weren't all that interested. You look really good on paper. He says, but we're still weary of this. He says, you actually look better than George on paper a little bit, right? For certain reasons, right? And he says, but you got to show me the money. He goes, I would, he goes, and he gave me a compliment. He goes, wasn't really thinking about it. He goes, but I met you in person at Mar-a-Lago. He goes, I really like you. He goes, well, actually, I think this guy can win. Let's put a little support behind him. Is at least like saying, hey, he's a good guy, right? But it still was like, hey, do me a favor. Go out and raise another couple $100,000 so that when I'm trying to compare you to the guy in, say, Northern Michigan that has relatively similar demographics, I can sell the White House. I can sell the NRCC. I'm like, hey, let's put our stuff behind this guy. That's how it works. There's no, I wish there was a grand conspiracy and I was part of it because I would have to do none of this work. That part sucks. And you've got to just get punched in the face time after time after time. And oh, by the way, I'm going to go back to that record I built 35 years ago. That helps me on phone calls because people are going to take a phone call from a guy that they can trust. I've earned that trust, right? I earned the trust by like, hey, I already went overseas and put my life on the line defending our freedoms, right, on behalf of, making life or death decisions in front of the enemy on our behalf, right? So it's not a stretch to think that I'm going to go down to Congress and fight for American people here right again. As a firefighter, like I said, people in downtown Waterbury, people in North Haven, people on the highways all over the state here have trusted me with their lives and the lives of their loved ones because that's what you expect from a first responder, from a paramedic, from a firefighter, from those things. I already earned that respect there. For crying out loud, whether you guys know it or not, and people hear me say this in my son's speech, like, you already trust me with billions of your hard-earned, at least your cut of the billions of hard-earned dollars, and making sure that our troops had the stuff they need to pull off the kind of missions like they pulled off on Easter morning, bringing our boy back home. And I also know, him and I know not only know what it's like to get the money for that, but also know what it's like to be on those missions, to know the build up that it takes. Not just buds. It's not just doing a platoon. It's a workup. Guys like him and those guys are going through Green Team over at Dev Group, right? All these other things, and like iterating on subject matter, iterating on practice, iterating on how do we do this? How do we do this the best way? And I want to go back to your thing about being a bomb thrower. I've said this. It's when I've talked to people too. Is like, Navy SEALs love to blow the front door off and go in guns blazing. Like it's one of our favorite things to do. What I see, yeah, right. It's not always the right thing to do though. Right?
Okay.
Sometimes, hey, Reese, come on out. We got you surrounded, right? That might be the way we take it. We might wait for you to just have our sniper in the bushes, slip out and come out when you're not paying attention. And other times, we come in the back door with a flashlight, say, Reese, you're coming with. There's, so to think that, like, you can just be a bomb thrower because that's the way you are, I think it's problematic in politics.
I don't have that much time, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to say, no. All interviews don't have to be a bunch of question and answers. I just wanted you to sort of convey all of that because we didn't have a lot of time today. But this conversation this disagreement between the both of these campaigns, as they are right now, has been contentious, I think, for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an opportunity, if you could, in a minute.
Yep.
Were you surprised, upset? Well, let's just say surprised or disappointed or something else when Jonathan managed to get by the results? Because there was also said that there were some delegates that sort of got some fire from your folks or you or I don't know who else because of their votes. What was that? Give me a sum up if you can in a minute about that.
So nobody got any fire, but it's a really weird thing you do there. Like this whole the way they do the votes, and then you can switch your votes, and you got to lobby people.
Yeah, I know. I totally.
It's a bananas.
It's process. A bananas thing. Yeah.
I never knew anything about it before, and they're like, "Hey, go talk to so and so. Go talk to them. Try to lean on them." Right? So you don't know, no idea what we're doing, but we're trying to make our case. I did have some people that disappointed me that were supposed to be doing work for me that we thought we had a certain amount of votes. We were worried about him getting a certain amount of votes from the beginning. He's been working hard. He's been at it for a long time. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing to think about. I'm the guy who came in 2.5 months ago, right? I got 78% of the vote, right? I'm the guy that came in he's been here 18 months. He's raised $18,000. We've raised, we're somewhere 220, 230, somewhere in that ballpark by now, right? So there's a little bit of the writings on the wall already, right? That like, hey, if all this work has been put in, and that's just like people believe that because I think he had a lot more support than that 2-3 months ago.
Okay.
And when I first got in the race, I would have met him 50-50. maybe 40, 60, 40, something like that. We did a lot of work. I made it again.
But is there any animus about that? Now, less than a minute here. I almost feel like I have to bring you back, sir. I have so much stuff that I'm not going to get to.
I'll tell you what I said. Him and I saw him the week before, and we were in Bethel. He saw me. He joked about us doing something to his car because we're Navy SEALs, right? He says, and he's pretty sorry. He said, you would never see it, right? But being funny, right?
Yes.
But I said, no. He said, and he shook his hand, shook my hand. I said, hey, man, I think this is going to go a certain way. What's your phone number? I dialed his phone number, gave it to him. I says, I think you and I should talk after this is over. I think it's going to turn out a certain way. I says, you and I should get together because I think we could do something together. I think he could help in the cities. I don't think he can win the election in the open. For
I hear you.
I think he's got a place there.
We'll find that out. Thank you.
And oh, by the way, I called him after. I left him a voicemail. I've yet to get a phone call back.
We'll see what we can do. We got a lot of time. As I always say, folks, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. He is Chris Shea at ChrisShea4Congress.com. Help him out if you wish to. We are out of here. Have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow. Mark Christopher is getting you home. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Good night, sir.
Hey, good night, Reese. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B in Hartford. Then you'll see some more slow traffic approaching 19 in Meriden down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Westbound side of 84, just a little slowdown over the Boca